Welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you doing this Tuesday evening?
I'm doing great, but the better question is, how are you doing tonight, Dr. Redacted?
Oh, I'm doing great. And I apologize ahead of time. My voice sounds like shit because I just got my voice back, but we're going to make most of it. So let's fucking go.
Fuck it, go. Yep. Okay, everything's in whispers tonight. Okay, so I'll start like this. Doctor, go ahead and take it easy for a minute. I always like to write out an intro. It's a great thing to do because it lets everyone who's here kind of get on the same page. Let everybody know your accolades and where you come from. So here we go. Listeners, we have a very special guest with us tonight, Dr. Redacted, a.k.a. Mr. Redacted in Colorado only, formerly American Beetle and Dr. Q. 36 years with almost a decade in ring experience. Over his career, he's wrestled around 200 matches, with the most matches wrestled in 1 year at 50 in 2024. Given his rising popularity and blazing start to 2025, we all hope he beats last year's number. Redacted has been most often seen at ICW No Holds Barred a total of 29 times, Ruthless Pro Wrestling 13, Blitzkrieg Pro 10, and hopefully climbing up the ladder, GCW 8 times. The Good Doctor is a two-time champion, averaged 369 days per major title reign. That's 4 days over 1 year. His longest title run is currently the Insane 8 Championship for 556 days and counting. He was also a Wrestle Rave Deathmatch champion for 182 days. He was a member of CDC with Cypher, Chris Benet, Devantes, Juba, and Kip Stevens. He's wrestled at over 20 companies, and during his career participated in 11 tournaments. 4 of those matches he made it to the semifinals or finals, and he's been the winner twice. Redacted's first match at GCW was at Backyard Wrestling 6 versus JJ Allen and Tarzan on July 4th, 2024. Since then, he's wrestled 8 matches with us and already has his eyes on the UV Championship. Listeners and fans, I'd like to officially introduce to the show the murder surgeon, Dr. Redacted. How you doing tonight, bud?
That was good. That was good. You made a lot out of nothing, so that was sick.
I was waiting for the run through the screen there. I was protecting myself.
Well, yeah, welcome. We have a lot to cover tonight. We obviously have quite a few people that are coming in. So right off the bat, I'll have to say welcome to Clown, Reed, Jacob, James, Abel, Cody. Who else we got? A Big Chump is in here. Looks like we just had our raid from Effie. Thank you so much, Effie, and everybody from over there. Kenzie's here. Connor's here. Welcome to all. Hopefully we have a great night ahead of us, and we're very thankful that you're with us. So I'm not going to waste time. We have so much going on. I'm going to start right now. Here we roll. What companies did you watch first?
Always WWF first. And then I discovered late night, because I'm originally from New York, Long Island. Late night, it was like 2 a.m., MSG, if anyone knows the network. ECW on TV. Coolest thing you ever saw. Glued, hooked immediately, started watching. Did not miss an episode until the end.
And who was it that really drew you in ECW that I think really affected you the most here?
That Sandman entrance, coolest fucking thing of all time. Just literally like, and it's just like, listen, I don't drink or smoke or do any of that stuff, but like, just see this guy come out there, not give a fuck. He's got a cigarette in his mouth. He's pouring beers on himself and everyone else and just hitting everyone with a Singapore cane. It's like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it looks like he just came off the streets, and it doesn't matter where he's
Yeah,
at.
right.
He's ready for a fight. You know.
Also, Sabu, like the coolest shit ever.
Now, were you a fan of your fellow high school alumni, Mick Foley?
Huge fan, actually. Like, quite the mark, if we're gonna say so myself. What just like the fact that we're both Disney adults too, kind of sick.
That's what's
Major
up.
coincidence. But just like a great guy overall. I love that. I can appreciate that. Super nice. Love seeing him in person. Super nice. But yeah, just after you, I feel like if when you show anybody who's like not a wrestling fan, Hell in the Cell, I don't know how they can't be like,
yeah,
just the craziest shit. The craziest shit.
The emotional attachment, you know.
It's funny too because growing up, I was from South Setauket, that's a Long Island town, and he's from East Setauket, so that's like also kind of funny too.
Now, I was going to ask, you're originally from the music scene. What did you do over there?
I used to book a lot of concerts. I played in bands, toured with bands, did a lot of stuff like that. Did that for a large chunk of my life, and that's where I met like my into wrestling. Was through there. This like local guy who ran this music venue. He's like, "Oh, you're the wrestling, right?" He doesn't talk like that, but that's the voice we're gonna give him. And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "Oh, you're like athletic. I see you doing all this stupid shit here. You want to like try your hand at wrestling?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. I'm an idiot. Let's do it." And then we were off to the races from there.
Man, I'll just say this real quick. Reed Harris Cooper just said, redacted without the doctor looks so weird. And his name is actually being redacted. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a quick question. Sorry, I got to cut
Yeah.
you off here. We got a good one from Connor again. Connor with the good questions here. Says you're his absolute favorite and dude forever, but you started doing comedy as Dr. Cube and loves comedy wrestling. So what is your opinion on guys like Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Kikutaro, and Tracy Smothers?
Comedy wrestling in general, there's a place for it everywhere. Like, even if you watch the stuff I do now, I do like a lot of haha funny stuff. Like, think about like modern movies today, especially. I know people will poke fun at like the Marvel movies, but like there's always a ton of comedy in it, and you can have like the what's what I'm looking for. You can have like a ton of crazy action. You can have people getting their like fucking skulls split open or anything like that, but there's always room for comedy, whether it's dry, like slapstick, over the top. There's always room for comedy, and that works for wrestling too, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree 100%. I think we need to have something like that on almost every show. Something to kind of break the tenseness of all the action.
Because not everybody has to be a super serious wrestler.
No, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Now you said your name. You know that is next level. That takes a lot of thinking. I hate to say, and you know that too. Like the word redacted, even just in wrestling, like that's just not a word that's even used. For you to come up with that, I think almost took a couple of fans to start looking in the dictionary and go, I got to see what that means.
Okay.
Talk to us about that.
So I did not come up with it. True story. And I cannot credit the person who did. As you knew, I was doing Dr. Cube on the indie scene. I did American Beetle too. I was working with Kaiju Big Battle for a long time. I did a lot of shit there. We had our falling out. They wanted to go their way. I wanted to go my way. And somebody, like jokingly, because there was a show flyer out there for a Blitzkrieg Pro show. And Dr. Cube was advertised. And then someone wrote Dr. Redacted. And I was like jokingly said that to a friend of mine. And he's like, honestly, the name is kind of great. Like it has that like early WWF feel where they like everyone had jobs. Like you could see that like Dr. Redacted, like teaming with who was Kane's original one, the dentist.
Oh yeah,
Isaac Yankum.
Yeah, like imagine that stupid ass tag team. Like that'd be hilarious. But yeah, like in like Doink and all that. And then I was like, honestly, I kind of love that, and I just ran with it. So shout out to that person, whoever you are.
And do you have any moves inspired by other wrestlers?
Yeah, for sure. You'll see, like I'll do a lot of like Mick Foley or Sabu-esque type stuff. I'm a big Nigel McGuinness fan, which might be shocking to some people since he's a very British, clean, fancy looking wrestler. You'll see me do some of stuff that I've kind of watched him do. Um, who else there?
Well,
Love.
I think of the Mist. So
Oh,
sorry.
okay. So growing up with ECW, I wasn't a huge WCW fan. It was like I'll watch the first hour before Raw started, and
Mm-hmm.
then switch over. Towards the end, I was kind of going back and forth, back and forth. But you saw Tajiri do it, and I was like, "This is clearly the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, there's nothing cooler than this." And that's not true, but uh, I loved watching him do it, and I was like, "This is such a smart idea." And at the time, I was like, "I don't think there's any guys from America who really do it." So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, all right, I'll just throw it in there." And I'm like a doctor; I could work on myself. Why not, right? Just insert some poison glands in my throat or whatever.
Mm. Okay,
All
well, it's
right.
not a move. Sorry about that.
Ah,
Mist is not a
according,
move, but it was a cool one.
according to WWF No Mercy, it is a move, and it can be your finishing move, so it counts.
Oh, oh.
Uh,
That's all the credibility I need right there. No mercy.
Yeah, we're making the N64 references. Just wait
Love
till
it.
the pro references come in.
The good stuff.
All right, so real fast, Cody in the chat asks or says he remembers American Beetle versus Dr. Cube match from Time Bob in 2020 when you were American Beetle and Ricky Norin was Dr. Cube. And that kind of leads into a great one. So American Beetle did wrestle for GCW at Jimmy Lloyd's G-Generation F in Tampa 2021. So the debut was actually sooner than you would think.
Yeah. Uh, where there's that crazy shot of me just flying to the outside, and you're like, "Oh, he's dead. That's it. That's the end of that. He died." Okay.
Oh, I wanted to jump back just for a second, only because I had one more question here. You are famous for the garbage can spot with the dive there. Did you get that from anyone?
Yeah, great, Sasuke.
Mm.
He does it in Japan with the big wooden barrel, and I was like, I'm not gonna get a barrel. No American promoter is gonna buy me no big ass
No.
barrel. And the trash can, I was like, oh, that kind of works. It's different. Also, way less expensive. So,
Yeah.
just was like, if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And then
You've
it
been
got to the
fairly
point where
fortunate?
people were like, "You're gonna do it, right?" And I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
here
Yeah.
we are now." And it's funny because my better half will be like, "You're doing it too much," or "You don't need to do it so much." And I'm like, "But they're buying it for me. They're asking me to do it." So you'll see me do it a good amount, but then you'll see me tease it, and then I'm trying to get creative with it too. So
I love it. I always worry because, so many people have said those aluminum trash cans, they get sharp real
yeah,
quick.
they sure do. They sure do. I'll tell you.
Now, is there any meaning behind your entrance song, or is it just a song you like?
Um. Okay, so I'm like really big on like picking out stuff that works for who you are. For like for example, like Matt Tremont, that entrance song hits. People are like Steve Austin, the Glass Shatter. Holy
Yeah.
shit. I was coming out to an older song that also works very good. I did it for um Backyard Wrestling, and it worked all right. But for like because they didn't have like Wi-Fi, there was something where I had to use it, that one, and I was like, that's fine, it's my backup. But this one, it's great because you get like the introduction before the introduction, and
Mm.
it's just a band I liked from the UK. um, but what's good about it is that, like I said, it gives people that whole like, ooh, it's about to come, it's about to happen, and then you watch them all stand up, and it's like, dude, it's the sickest shit. I'm all for it. Let's go.
Mm. Now, is let's go this route for your newer fans. Is there a match in your career that you're most proud of and you want everyone to see just off the top of your head?
Match I had Matt Tremont's really good. Um, Either of my John Wayne Murdoch matches I really enjoy. I had a match with Bobby Beverly from Chattanooga, Tennessee, for ICW that a lot of people will constantly tell me, especially a one Bobby Banks, shout out Bobby Banks, who will tell me that it's
Bobby.
like another level of ultra violence that like he holds in its own tier. So I appreciate that. This is one of those questions where I'll think about it, and
Yeah, yeah.
I just immediately draw like blanks. But I want to believe I stand by like anything I've done. So I feel like you can go back and watch pretty much any match, we'll say 90% of them, and walk away being like, oh, okay, this guy gives a shit. Cool.
Good. I was wondering where you were going to land on that question, only because I've seen a lot of it and I've never seen you really use the brake pedal. So, you throw your whole body into it. I mean,
When it comes to like music or anything like live sports, I'm one of those people where I've been the consumer before. I know what it's like to be on that side, and I hate that feeling of like you go to see a band or any sort of performer, and they don't really give it their all, or they don't play the song you want to hear them play, or it just feels like they're not in it tonight. I hate to be that guy. I will do everything in my possibility, my whatever you want to say, to not be that guy. I don't believe in phoning it in. I believe it's the same thing. Like if any job that anyone wakes up to and goes to any morning, if you phone it in or don't do a good job, what do? You get fucking reamed out or fired for it.
Yep.
So I don't want to be that guy. So that's just how I look at it.
So then, how did you find GCW or vice versa?
I mean, if you watch independent wrestling in general, how could you not know what GCW is? Like I believe that if you are on the independents of any sort, whether you're wrestling or watching, and you've never heard or watched GCW, or even like a clip, you are lying because it's the top dog on the independents. Like, there's no way you haven't. That's all I'm gonna say.
Do you remember how you got brought in though? Was it, did Janela say hey, or was there someone else?
I definitely got that message from Jimmy Lloyd randomly one day.
Sweet.
What airport? I was at some airport. I forget what airport. And he's like, oh, I'm not gonna do my Jimmy Lloyd. But he messaged me because he didn't call me, he messaged me, and I was like, hey, do you want to do this backyard wrestling thing? And I was like, yeah, let's go. And we were off to the races from there.
Okay, so I have to ask, do you have a favorite venue?
Oh man, there's so many good ones. Obviously in Japan, I'll say Korakuen Hall. That was like the coolest one ever. In America, Hammerstein was the coolest, like for like sentimental reasons or like everything. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I'm gonna say a few. Sadly, I don't think any of them are on the West Coast, so sorry. Chattanooga, Tennessee, I love the TWE Arena. I love that place. I think it looks great on screen too. Mm-hmm. I really liked the Hart Ballroom in New Jersey for a while. That was really good. Got a lot of good memories there too. Man. Funny enough, I was really excited to do the Houston Premier Arena, and then I got there. And you get there and you're like, man, this place looks like shit. But then it fills up and the show starts and you're like, okay, now I see what I saw on TV. But before that, you're like, oh, is this the right place? You guys sure? Maybe the GPS is lying, or yeah. You have to like walk through like a junkyard to get there too. And there's just like dogs everywhere and like half assembled buses. And you're just like, yeah, what's this? What's going on here?
You swear you're at Zona?
Honestly, it's a few miles away if you think about it.
You mentioned Japan. Connor has a bunch of good questions again. He asked, how did it feel to make it to Japan?
It was pretty surreal, honestly. It was crazy because like we got there. So okay, we'll go segment by segment on this one. So me and Kenzie, we flew from LAX to LAX. I'm a big airport guy, hands down, top 3 worst airports of all time. Fuck LAX. It sucks. We flew into Honolulu, which also might be in the top 10 worst airports. First thing you see, first time I've ever been to Hawaii too. First thing you see as soon as you get off the plane, Quiznos? What? I thought Quiznos was extinct. Crazy. So then flew to Japan. The flight was fantastic. Absolutely one of the best flights I've ever done. Being there and landing was just like, oh, we're actually here. This is pretty crazy. The first match, even though it was in like the parking lot of like what they would call like a spa, it's like a bathhouse or something. what also was not allowed inside because I have tattoos. So I was like, man, we're off to a great start right now.
Wow.
But the first match being in the ring with Abdullah Kobayashi, Ito, it was crazy. It was nuts. So I can.
So they asked about Takeda. How does it feel to be able to wrestle Takeda?
There's pressure there. It's like the coolest and like most holy shit moment because in my view, Takeda is easily the best, or at least him and Kasai are the top two in Japan. I think Takeda is the crazier, but Kasai is more of the like he's on their Mount Rushmore. Not saying Takeda won't be or isn't, but I look at him as more like the legend. I would say he's probably the best from that country. So it's a lot to live up to. And on top of it, I have arguably the best, if not one of the best in this country, also in that match. So that will also be nuts in John Wayne Murdoch.
Now, I'm wondering, just off the top of your head, what's the worst bump you remember taking?
Okay, so I don't know if this really qualifies as a bump, but we're going to talk about it because it's one of those things where I told myself I will never let that happen ever again. So I am doing this no ring match against the Necro Butcher.
Oh.
Everybody knows who the Necro Butcher is? Yeah, you know.
Yes, yeah.
So this motherfucker picks up a mic stand with those really heavy circular round bottoms, which is pretty much a brick. And he hits me with it and kind of like whips, like just kind of like grazes. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're working. This is great. And then he picks it up again. Dude, he hit me so hard in the side of the head and the ear with that thing. I immediately was like, oh no, do I have like the UFC ear? Like,
yeah.
What happened? Did I just get like deformed? Thankfully, I didn't. But also, your worst bump, possibly injury. No, let's just say bump. I did some like spot show in California, and the guy, it's my friend Terex, hits the side of my head while I'm laying down with a plastic chair, like not even just like a plastic folding chair, like most catering companies would give out. And I'm like, man, he must have got me or clipped me because I'm feeling a lot of like liquid run down the side of my face and like everything. And I'm like, what's that weird breeze? I'm like, is my ear bleeding? The top part of this ear was just flapping, like this whole top part right here was just hanging off. So I was dripping blood into my ear hole, which was so awkward and weird. And I didn't realize it for like 10 minutes. And I was like, man, this is. And then after we went to a Walgreens, and Kenzie definitely super glued my ear in a parking lot, put it back together. So wrestling.
Damn. Now, okay, so it's hard to see here. I've had 17 or 18 stitches right in the forehead, like Frankenstein style. Did it have the same amount of lack of pain, I guess, that, you know what I mean? Like head injury, like up in here, you don't get as much pain sometimes. You don't feel it as much. Did you have the same, I guess, level of pain on the ear? Because, I mean, it sounded like you didn't really,
No, honestly, it didn't really even bother me at all, to be honest. But, when adrenaline is hitting, it's the craziest drug in the entire world. As someone who doesn't do drugs, I really wouldn't know, but that's just my opinion. It's the craziest drug ever.
Stage is a drug.
Yeah.
That's really, I think, the best way I've heard it. Do you have any nagging injuries going on right now? I know that's a thick question.
Little things. I definitely have a piece of glass that has been in my hand since August, and it's like a pretty big piece. And like if I push my hand against anything the wrong way, it kind of like stabs in. I'm like, oh, and I definitely fractured a part of my foot last July in a funny way. And if I sit like in like I'm trying to think of the right word to use for it. Like when you sit like a pretzel, I guess it is, or cross your legs and you sit that way. After a while, I have to like move because the bottom of my foot or the side of my foot just like hurts too much. Little shit, nothing important.
You know how that is, though.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there.
You know, it doesn't make a trip to the kitchen very comfortable sometimes if you're trying to worry
Yeah.
about
I
that foot.
agree.
You know.
I agree. Yeah, I would say that's better. I definitely have some muscle issue after that Colorado match for GCW with R Invite. Uh,
Mm.
my arm muscle is definitely, I don't know if you'd say growing back, but uh,
Repairing.
I'm normally I'm like Wolverine where I heal pretty fast, but right now I'm feeling like Logan. So we'll get there. We'll get there.
A lot of multivitamins.
Yeah, a lot of multivitamins, a lot of whey protein. Whey protein is the best thing for healing the body.
There you go. You heard it right there, and that's
You heard it
coming from the
from a
doctor
doctor.
I was
himself.
just about to say that came from the doctor.
Yeah.
So you've fought really hard, I think, sometimes to be anti-stereotype of blood and guts wrestlers. Could you maybe tell us how you separate yourself? Because I know you love playing different card games and different things, we'll say. Yeah, could you kind of introduce yourself as, hey, I'm more of a thinker maybe than people think the average blood and guts wrestler is?
I feel like if you talk to anybody who has ever worked with me, they will say I will overanalyze over like everything. Like I will meticulously be like, bup, 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 bup. But there's so much like I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's a lot of I'm very meticulous about things. I overthink everything. I try to look at both sides of every scenario to get there. I fully think that I am a deathmatch wrestler. I know some people are like, I don't want to be labeled that, but that's my bread and butter. That's what I like. That's what I like doing the most. There's only places where they've been like, oh, you don't have to do that, and I'm like, but what if I
Yeah.
want to? But like
Yeah.
maybe that's what I want to do. So I do like doing it, like changing it up from time to time. In Japan, strangely enough, I either did like blood and guts or I did like comedy matches. And the comedy matches, I ended up being like, man, I love those. That was so stupid and so funny. But, you know, it's whatever. I have no problem being the blood and guts wrestler and then going out there and surprising people. I have no problem, either way. It doesn't bother me.
Do you feel you're going through more pre-match planning than the average deathmatch wrestler then?
I might be, but that's okay. And everybody has their own way of doing things, and I'll never knock anybody for doing it. But that's just me. Like I said, I overanalyze things. I'll apologize to people the whole time, like, I'm sorry, I'm just like annoying with this, and oops.
No.
So Cotter asks, what made you want to do death matches?
It definitely all stems from ECW, or even like the Mick Foley syndrome. Just seeing all that stuff. When I was doing kaiju, I would be the dum-dum that would be like, oh, there's a 2-story balcony, or oh, I could jump off this and land onto people. Or my friend Perry, I was like, hey, why don't we do the Rhino pile driver off the apron through a table? Nobody else is doing that, or nobody's expecting that. And then you see the reactions it gets and how people are like, oh my God. And then you're like, oh, let's push it a little bit further. Let's do some more dumb shit. And then you go dumber and dumber and crazier and crazier. And then I'm like, at one point, I'm like, oh, I'm swimming in glass now and rolling around with John Wayne Murdoch in Detroit, bleeding out of my hands everywhere. Sure, this is great.
Do you still get nervous before matches?
All the time. We're going to get a little TMI right now or whatever, but I definitely take a ton of pre-match shits. At least two. It's just, but once you get right out there, it's like boom, right out the window. Here we go. I once again, I just chalk it up to like not to like be high and mighty, but I care. I try to put a lot of effort into it, and in my head, I'm just like, okay, I hope this goes the way like I want it to go, or like we planned or whatever. But I don't know. That's it.
So then is it the music? Is it the, going through the curtain? Is it when you start to push fans? When does that adrenaline hit?
Right as soon as you come out of the curtain. Honestly,
Yeah.
as soon as you come out of the curtain, it's just like I have forgotten any sort of concern or anything in my head. Like we are now full redacted mode, foot on the gas pedal. Let's go. Start sprinting. And watch out because I am coming at you. That's what it is.
Literally.
Shout
I
out to
felt
Andy
that in
Wallace.
LA.
Yeah.
Connor asks, how does it feel to have fans embrace you so quickly into your deathmatch career?
It was honestly the best and most surprising feeling. I didn't see it coming. I didn't know it was going to happen. And then everybody was so nice and so welcoming. And I definitely went into it at first with like the walls were up. Like I was like, because everybody wanted me to be a heel at first. And I went into it being this like jerk. And then people were like clapping and high fiving me. And I was like, you're supposed to hate me. What are you doing, you idiots? And then they didn't. And I like that. And that's cool. But the thing that's cool about the Redacted character is it's like I don't want to say anti-hero, but it's more of like a wild animal. Like I can be unhinged and crazy and do all this stuff. I'm not really like a bad guy. It's just, well, you open the cage door and now the lion has got come out. You can't hate the lion because he's acting like a lion.
Who's provoked the animal in you the most?
Wrestler or fan?
We'll start with the wrestler.
Both.
Yeah. We'll start with the wrestler and then we'll transition from there.
Ooh, that's a really good one. I would definitely say John Wayne Murdoch. He always gets a good one out of me. Not saying that no one gets good ones out of me, but you know what I mean. Anytime I wrestle Tommy Trainwreck, he always gets a good one out of me. Man, I don't know. It also depends really on the fans. Like if they're really like cheering me on or giving it to me, then it's like, okay, let's fucking go. We're feeling the room right now. Honestly, Matt Justice too. But
I was just about to say,
yeah.
I felt what you're saying. I felt that in your actions throughout the whole match, and like you just felt like, hey, like I'm going to take it even more higher. You guys think I'm crazy now? Like you just kept on pushing the limit that night, and like I'm glad you worded it because I think I said it on that podcast on the review. It's like I felt like you were feeling the room, and like I'm just going to keep on going and pushing the limit for you guys, and that's cool hearing you say that.
Yeah, and like you watch either match with him, it's kind of like, oh, you want to do this gratuitous violence to me? Well, hold my energy drink and watch me do some gratuitous violence to you.
So now on to fans. Was there a fan that brought out the animal in you?
If you were at the VXS, Vegas show, they definitely gave me a mic and were like, if anyone says anything, give it back to them tenfold. And I definitely started giving it back to people tenfold and letting people know, hey, if you want to fucking play, I'll bark right back at you. So
I have to hear some stories on that. So like I love that whole like just seeing Dr. Shit on the VXS panel was awesome seeing it.
Yeah.
Like that crazy thing, the incident obviously at the end with the Rez and Parker. Like, yeah, I wanted to hear more about like your VXS time and like what your thoughts on your time working with them in Arrival.
Working with VXS has always been great. Isaac has always been really good to me, and he always put a lot of thought and effort into like building me or having me come off a certain way. Those matches were all good. The one match I really enjoyed, or I thought was one of my better matches. That guy is so we won't get into that one. But that one was so sick because the entranceway was like going down an escalator, and like that whole scenario right there on Fremont and how it's all like laid out like that. Dude, it was so sick.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was really good. Any VXS show I always really enjoyed. So shout out to VXS or Rival or Isaac.
Yeah, B was at that show, weren't you?
Yeah, I was one of those fans giving it to you for sure that night.
Yeah, the Las Vegas wrestling scene is quite small.
It is. You know, I've learned.
Really
living in Las Vegas, I learned it was quite small. I feel like every promotion books all the exact same people.
Yeah, and somehow magically you'll still get a show on Wednesday out here.
Yeah, and they are definitely still not warmed up to Deathmatch yet.
Oh gosh, no. You know, the biggest company out here is more of a old-fashioned classic style company, and everything outside of that are more, I guess, would say fringe and smaller. So It doesn't seem like there's really any in between. And if you're going to have deathmatch, you have to kind of go to those smaller shows out here.
For
And
sure. Anytime
yeah,
I've had like really bloody matches there, I've definitely had people walk out because they were like sick, like they were gonna
yeah,
throw up, which is crazy
yeah.
to me. I mean, it's not crazy, I get it, but it's like, really, you felt that compelled, or like, but oh well. Vegas
Well,
will come around eventually.
it's like the thrill of seeing someone see their first light tube get busted. And they're
Yeah,
like,
and
"Oh my
the
god!"
pop.
And you see it pops, and it's like like you're watching a firework explode, and then you see
Yeah,
glass drop down at these people's feet, and they're like, "Oh shit, we're at a different kind of show."
it's so weird because you'd think in theory Vegas is like the home to like it's like the second biggest vacation destination in America, and like the home to like entertainment central. And you'd
Yeah,
think like they, first off, wrestling would do better, let alone they would be open to all aspects of it. But they're just, it's weird because it's like they're in that little rut of just like they don't get it yet. But in time, I'm
yeah.
sure it'll come around. They all do.
They lack any type of, I don't want to call them laws because it's never, but they just lack any oversight. It's Wild West here. I'm really surprised that this isn't the place as a destination, maybe on the West Coast, where you can see stuff like this. And unfortunately, around here, being locals, you've been a local, it's like it's just another show.
Yep.
There's so many shows you can go to that having a traveling show come to town is no different than every other traveling show coming to town.
Yep.
And that's unfortunate.
It is. It's whatever, but we'll have fun this year, right?
Yeah, and again, I have to say, the small crowd that is the Las Vegas group, they are cool people, and most of them, I'd have to say, are extremely supportive, and definitely wish we had more doing work like yours out here in Las Vegas by far.
All the fans I've ever met from Vegas, they've always been super cool, super appreciative. But I just wish the shows were bigger or better or just something more, I guess you'd say. But that's just me.
So, what has been the craziest thing you've had a fan do to get your attention? Oh
Um,
boy.
man, that's a tough one. Okay, so we'll talk. We'll go back and forth on that one. So like craziest, whether it's they're just like yelling stupid shit or, um, that show that we were talking about earlier. I definitely, what's her name from the West Coast? That super fan, Wendy. Oh, I let her
Mm-hmm.
have it that night. I definitely said a word I will not say on this podcast that night. That a lot of British people like to throw around like it's the word stupid.
Oh, that word, yeah.
Yeah. And then I definitely have a lot of people, and this is not a knock. This is nothing weird or anything like that. Who come to the merch table and are like, "You gonna push me tonight?" Which
Yeah.
is like, it's sick. But like in theory, I'll be like sitting at merch, whatever, and then you're like, they just come up, "You gonna push me? You gonna let me have it? I'm gonna push you back." And it's like, see you out there, pal.
It's like the easiest, like when the fans just want to be chopped, and like Mason, they
Yeah.
want to be choked. And I know you got like you just wanted the mosh pit going. That's
And
awesome.
like in theory, I've had some people that have been like, "Man, like you pushed me and I sprained my ankle and fell into my kid. It was awesome. I'll never forget it." And I'm just like,
You almost
I'm
knocked me
waiting
on
for
my
it
ass in LA.
I'm waiting for it to be like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. We're cool. Yeah, hell yeah." Like the fist will
Man.
be clenched on my side, waiting for them to be like, "Fuck
Mm-hmm.
you," and then they're just like, "I loved it." I'm like, "Oh, hey, yeah, great."
All right,
There's
well, we got a target for you in AC right here. We're in a
Oh,
big
I know.
bullseye shirt.
Please, him in
Let's
that
get
silly ass
Frankie.
haircut. It's not silly, but it is kind of silly. But
Oh, Frankie.
that's our East Coast correspondent. He's really awesome. Yeah, if he wears a bullseye shirt, you'll notice him there for sure. Big tall guy too. Like
I'll put the
you
head
met me
down, and
like
it'll just be a bull, just
oh
charge right.
hell
He'll be
yeah.
the new Andy Lawler that night.
Oh,
So I
you know
had to
what?
ask about like what's with the situation with Andy with Jordan. I wanted to get there, but I wanted to hear more about the fan interactions as well first.
So it's funny because like on that message board, I pushed Andy down one time, and people got like a really insane clip of it from Detroit. I think that's where it started, in Detroit one year, the first King of the Kill, and he didn't just like go down; he went down, like
Yeah,
took out
yeah.
drinks. It was a mess, and even by outside standards, because it was outside, it was a mess. And then people were like, "Oh, he's gonna get you again." And then he's like, no, I'm going to be prepared. And it gets like at the point now where like I'm faking them out and just going back and getting them. Or like, it's, I don't know what it is, but I just come out, I see him and I'm like, fuck it, man.
Now, did that come from the music industry? You know what I mean? Is this hardcore inspired at all?
So funny enough, no, it's not actually.
Oh.
Funny enough, it all kind of started where like I would come out and like some fans, when there's no guardrails, will get real close or they'll be weird or like they're going to go to like put their hand on you, but not really. And at one point, instead of going for a high five, I just like pushed somebody and like it kind of caught on. And then from there on, it just kind of kept catching on and catching on. So like I said, to the point where I watch them now all just stand up and like ask for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a song called I Want Somebody to Shove. And I've always thought that would be such a cool song for you to fucking use. I have to say, because, you know, it's just an emotional thing. Does it feel good to get it out that you're pushing? You know what I mean? You kind of feel like, okay, warm body, kind of feels good. You know, you wish you could do it in a crowd most anywhere. You're able to do it here. I don't know.
The thing that I enjoy the most about it is, well, one, that the fans like, just to make like a comparison type deal, like everybody has like a cool, unique entrance. But the fact that it's like my Nick Cage entrance, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's kind of similar, kind of not, but same, like you get what I'm saying, the ballpark.
Yes.
What I enjoy the most about it is people will be like, dude, you fired me up. I was so much more into that match because you fired me up. You got me ready. And like, to me, the fact that I can help someone enjoy it and like give them their like participation in that, that's all we need. That's all we need.
So I'll be honest, for that LA Matthew Justice, when they announced you and Justice, I booked that was the match that made me buy the ticket because I knew you two, as you said earlier, just gonna up each other in the craziness and violence, and I knew it would be an experience. But I sat front row and like, yeah, you pushed me on my ass, and like it made me feel like, yeah, I'm in this fight. Like, let's go. Like, this is gonna be crazy. Like, this is gonna be nuts. And like, yeah, it got me in the mood. Like as you said though, that's what Nick Gage entrance does and to the fans and stuff. But I like, for me, that's it's so awesome seeing you just bring out that energy because it does exactly what you said, get the fans into it.
Hell yeah! See, there we go. Prime example.
Dude, I was actually like, I was like in a fight. I was like, where are we going next?
Dude.
And then that fight literally went all over that building.
Dude, that was amazing.
So I need the castle.
You two
story.
work well together. So sorry.
Oh, the Jordan Castle story. Okay. So I always thought the idea of including commentary in things somehow would always be really funny. And man, I forget what show it started at. But I always me and Jordan are buds. So don't think there's any beef or anything like that. But one day I remember just fighting with somebody and then going on commentary and like talking shit to him. And then there would be times where he had to interview me and I would call him by the wrong name. Or the one California show, I put my shirt over his face so I didn't have to look at his face. There's been so many different times where we've just had stupid interactions. And it's and now it's funny because now his dad will text me and be like, oh, you got him. Or like, just shout out to Steve Cassell.
I'm about to say he's awesome. He's cool to talk to at the shows as well.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best. But Jordan's great commentator. Highly recommend to anyone who needs a commentator, Jordan Castle. But everybody at the time was fucking up his name and calling him Castle, or because that's how Jordan Cassell. Yeah, and people would call him Castle, and then he got so bad about it. So that's why he changed it. So now I've changed it back to calling him Cassell or some other bullshit. But he's just so easy to dog. I love it.
You guys are like the Andre the go ahead.
No. B actually has a follow-up question. I have just a
no. I was gonna say I don't have no follow-up question. Just like your relationship kind of reminds me of like Andre the Giant picking on like Bob Barker or Bob Barker. It's like shaking his head. Like it's just funny your guys' interactions.
So I was wondering, what's the most creative weapon you've ever used or wanted to use in a match?
So in the one venue in Detroit, the one that a lot of people remember it's at like an American Legion, and there's like a diffused bomb, like an actual like missile that like, I guess just, I don't know if it wasn't used or whatever. I've definitely used that mid-match, and it definitely freaks people out when I come out with like a real like bomb. When I faced Matthew Justice the first time, and I used it the night before, there was just some like trout wrapped in barbed wire.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
I saw that picture and I was like, "Is that a real thing?"
Yes, and it was like a real like fish at one point. I'm trying to think of other weird ones. There's so many. Those are the two that come to memory right off the bat. But dude, there's so many.
So what's the one, I guess, weapon that you're kind of apprehensive about still to this day? Is there one that you're like, I'd really prefer to use a different alternative here?
Not funny enough because I'm a doctor. Syringes, not my cup of tea. Not like I get it. I know the like shock and awe, the gore factor. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it, or to like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It like when I try to like think of the psychology of it, am I gonna let someone sit there and put like a syringe through me?
Yeah. Being a doctor, I see where if that was your style, I
Yeah,
could see where you
I
could
can pull it
use
off.
that.
It's just,
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah. Now, you've been all over the place, at least for the last couple years. And I have to ask you, do you have any wrestlers on your radar right now that you haven't had a chance to, tussle with yet?
It's funny enough. Everybody always asks, "What's your dream match? What's your like the match you want
Yeah.
most?" I'll always say like at this point it's like a bit, but I want to wrestle Ultramantis Black so bad. Um, GCW wise, Effie would be a good one. Mance Warner would be a good one, but I want violent Effie. I don't want funny Effie. I want violent Effie. Jimmy Lloyd would be a really good one. Man, there's
Deathmatch Jimmy Lloyd. The real Jimmy Lloyd would be,
a different boy. That's what I'm looking for.
The real one, yeah.
There's a bunch. There's like 1 million wrestlers out there, and there's just so many. I can't think of any more.
Deicide, Ricky Norton, Jason Rage was a couple names that came up from fans here.
Ricky Norton, I would love that one. That's one I would definitely really like. Deicide too. We were supposed to wrestle recently, and unfortunately, I was under the weather and I had to cancel. Which I hate canceling. Canceling to me is like, it. Yeah. If you ever get the chance to talk to the Mrs. Redacted about it, she will tell you that I get like, I'll be like pacing. I get like stressed out about it, but it's like when my hands were really, really fucked up after that. We're allowed to curse on here, right? That's the thing.
Absolutely.
When my hands were like obliterated, destroyed after that John Wayne Murdoch match in Detroit, I had to cancel 2 bookings and it killed me. I felt like such a jerk for doing it. I always just feel like I'm letting people down, and it bummed me out so much.
So we'll kind of flip just a little bit here, but you've had a match at a show where the cops were called. What goes through your head as one of the performers, like as a participant in the problem?
Okay, so let's talk about the show. It's Las Vegas, funny enough. It's me and Casanova Valentine. Originally, it was supposed to be at some other place and then got moved to this person's backyard. You pull up to this place and it is like stereotypical, like 80s, maybe mid 90s, like party movie where there are so many people. There's like, these people fucking rented porta potties for this thing. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
There had to have been at least 200 people, like legit 200 people at this thing. It was a pretty big house, a big piece of property. Like just kind of going into it, like this could be interesting. So finally we get started. We're doing whatever. There was a basketball hoop. There was a sand pit. I definitely jumped off a fence. I jumped off a house, the house. This was also a casket match. So there is also just a casket in this person's backyard with bands playing too. At one point though, I jump off the house and there are like people kicking me, kicking Casanova, screaming that we were like breaking shit in their house. Nothing that we didn't supply was broken. And I definitely asked permission for like, hey, is this okay? Blah, 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 whatever. And someone thought that this was like a fight, like a legit, like 2 guys are fighting at a concert type deal. and they thought like we showed up and just started breaking their stuff and we're just fighting. They called the police on their own party, which is weird because they knew that this was supposed to happen, which is also more interesting because, like, if you looked at the majority of the people there, Casanova sticks out like a sore thumb. And then you have this bald white guy in fucking doctor scrubs fighting in the backyard. Like, let's just kind of, like, you put, like, simple, like, 1 + 1 together. Oh, this is that thing. And we got done with it, took it home, whatever. And then as soon as I am dressed, walking through the front gate, and I'm just, okay, goodbye. I don't need any of that.
I was wondering if you kind of, you're like, okay, I'm going to throw on clothes, get the hell out of here as quick as possible.
Dude, it was so weird. There was just people screaming and kicking me. And I'm thinking, what the fuck are you doing right now? Yeah. Who are you people?
Wow. Did you even have an entrance, like, at all or anything?
Yes,
like,
that was the other thing. They introduced the wrestlers and everything.
Oh, geez.
They didn't play our music, but they introduced us, like, on a microphone. So, like, clearly the whole place knows there's a circle of people watching this thing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what is going on? They must have been so, like, drunk or whatever, but dude, it was so confusing. It was so confusing.
Okay, let's get insightful for a minute.
Sure.
What's a piece of advice you'd give your rookie self if you had a chance to talk to him today?
Just breathe, slow down, stop overthinking everything, which I'm still going to keep doing it no matter what, and just relax. And certain things to eat and not eat before shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
See.
I've never shit my pants or anything like that, but some things have definitely not sat well with my stomach, and some things have.
Yeah.
So what's something you shouldn't eat before?
Subway, Chipotle,
like protein mostly?
No, just certain places just don't sit well with me. Like right before, like once the nerves kick in, it kind of accelerates your movements. But for whatever reason, I guess Subway just doesn't sit well with me in general. Not to knock Subway or people who like Subway or people who work at Subway, but Chipotle too. I'm gonna shoot right now. Chipotle has gone downhill. It sucks now. They changed the recipe on that salad dressing because I get salad bowl. They've just portions have gone down. Place sucks. I'm gonna say
Qdoba's the way to go.
Honestly, I have not had them in a while, but I recall them having really good salsa and really good queso, maybe.
Yes.
But yeah, it's more basic, but it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love that question of asking, about the rookie situation. Are you better off than you were with that same advice than when you started? What I'm saying is it's been almost a decade. Are you less nervous now and a little less worrisome than you were before?
More confident. Always
Excellent.
I look at it this way. I always get nervous and stuff, but it's in one of those, I like to think about it as like, you don't ever want to think you're the best or you're as good as you'll ever be, because then then there's no room to improve. If you sit there and like think about or like get yourself nervous, or like when I watch my stuff back, I do this stupid thing of being like, oh, could have done that better or whatever. But it's just ways to improve and to make things better. That's just my view on it, though.
All right. Is there one wrestler you'd love to sit down and talk to, living or dead? And what would that conversation be about?
Probably Mick Foley. We've had talks, but like it's 10, 15 minute talks, something like that. I would honestly just love to just sit there and talk to him about, like, there's so many things we can talk about between like Long Island, between wrestling, between I'll say it, fucking Disney. There's just so many things I could sit there and like talk to that guy about, or like certain matches he had, or his advice on stuff. And when his podcast came out, I loved it. I was like, this is just one of those things I could like have on that's like not soothing, but it's just like it like zens me out.
So this will be the last of the professional questions, and I'm going to maybe hand it over to the fans a little bit, because these aren't as fun as the personal questions. And
yeah, for sure.
So, is there something about you or your character that you wish people knew better or you would like to set straight?
So one thing I always like to have people think about is it's like, am I this like doctor who went like off the rails, like some Dr. Kevorkian type deal, or I'm not saying you like went off the rails, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or am I like the patient who killed the doctor, and now I'm just like living this like I'm the doctor, yeah, like type guy. It's just supposed to be like a super unhinged, crazy character, but like it's one of those things where like people need to realize like it's also a person. So you'll see me like give people respects and all this, but if you watch in any like sort of like great movie or great fight, like whether it's like a I'm trying to think of it, like you have like the Batman Joker type gimmick. Like the Joker is always like crazy and out and like nutso, but there always is a time where he gets like brought back to reality, so to say. I used to be a really big comic guy. Used to, like I still I love comics. They're just too expensive, and I don't have time for all that. But there was Batman versus the Punisher, where they had the crossover, and the Punisher comes face to face with the Joker for the first time, and we all know the Joker, crazy. The Punisher holds the gun to his head, and you watch from panel to panel as the Joker realizes, oh, you don't have the same rules as Batman. Like, you will kill me. And you see him like become a person again. And I always just like to put that like theory in people's heads. Like, the character is crazy and zany and all over the place, but then there are those moments of like, oh, this is a human being also. But then that light switch can just flip at any time.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's crazy, right?
And yeah, I used to collect back in the day. Like, I'll tell you how far back it was. Like when Superman died, and they had the different colored like the plastic.
Yep.
Do you remember Superman's death?
And they had like it came in the black bag with the Superman emblem on it, and it almost kind of looks like an American flag. But I remember it being like tethered or whatever. Yep. I'm probably gonna get heat for this, and I don't care. I hate Superman. He is the number one superhero I like the least. I can't stand him. I am a Spider-Man guy through and through. Batman too. Love Batman. But Spider-Man is my number one. X-Men, fucking sick. I probably will get heat for this too, but I think Deadpool is overrated. I like Deadpool, and the comics were pretty good. But there is a generation of people now who are also like super into Rick and Morty too. And they have adapted this like Deadpool like persona, and it's just like just turn the volume down a little bit. Come on. That's my shoot on nerds. As a nerd, I can say that, but that's my shoot on nerds.
I always say a fellow nerd.
Yeah, right.
Brant, do you have any fan questions in there? Because I'm sure you probably have some. I wanted to go through something serious or wrestling related before we have a little more fun here. I wanted to keep this lighthearted. I want to have a nice lighthearted conversation with you.
Yes. So going back to the gimmick. Frank says the gimmick is definitely chaotic good.
Ooh.
I agree. I like it. There we go. Connor asks, how does it feel wrestling in GCW compared to wrestling in ICW, NHB, and ring wise?
It's different in the sense, well, first off, aesthetically, one has fucking chains and one has regular ropes. That's a whole different ballgame in itself. They're both like, they're like ICW to me is what like the deathmatch fan is going to go for. What I enjoy a lot about performing at GCW is I get to perform in front of a lot of people that don't know me yet or haven't seen me yet. And I love to go back and just like watch the reactions of somebody like that Detroit match. If you watch some of the people in the front row, I'm shocked they didn't get up and leave. There are people like covering their faces at points, and it's just like, this is my introduction to them. I like that with GCW that like as much as I love an all deathmatch show, and personally I think Kenzie, she prefers like a full deathmatch show. She likes that show a lot. Giving her a shout out right now. She's in the other room watching, I think. So we're putting her on blast right now. So with GCW though, I like how it's like it's a variety show. Like you have the lucha match, you have the scramble match, you have the girls match, you have the strong style, you have all of them, and I like that it's a bunch of different flavors that all like come together.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, Kenzie chimed in right there.
There she
Love an
is.
all deathmatch show.
All right. Connor also wanted to state he thank you for being such a good guy to your fans like him and Ryan. It really means the world to him, and why they F with you so heavy. Connor's always been good with these questions, so I had to chime that in there with him. Kevin asks, well, not ask, but kind of say to what you were saying, like reintroducing yourself, and we were kind of talking about who found who, GCW or you, and he brought up how on the Patreon, on GCW's Patreon, almost every week they were asking about like, hey, when are we gonna see Doctor? When are we gonna bring Doctor into GCW? So yeah, he just wanted to make mention of that.
You had a very organic following. I'm so sorry, Redact. I just want to tell you, you had a very organic following that I don't know to this day if you even knew. There was at least a year or more run where Brett was constantly taking questions on when you're coming in. So
That's
maybe
so
you,
sick.
I just wanted you to know that. Yeah, definitely. This was very fan pushed.
Every show I always love to give all of you guys, I say you guys because you guys are, you're in there too. um Anytime, like every show, I love to do like sit talk with people. I love to get like give them, hoping that they feel like they walked away with their money's worth, whether it's the match or interaction. I love to give people a time of day. Chances are if you message me, I'll probably message you back too. I cherish you guys because this is a give and take thing. I need you just like they need me. um and I appreciate all the fans. I had a kind of an idea of what you're mentioning right now, because like people will come up to the merch table and tell me, but I guess you don't realize or comprehend the spectrum of it all,
Yeah.
of like how big or whatever it is. But I definitely appreciate every single fan. I love all you guys. I think you're great. Uh, I love that you want me to push you or be pushed by me, but the support has always been very much appreciated. And I hope I give that response back enough.
I do want you to know that in most people's top 3, top 5, you're in there. You're red hot, right? Hey, you're red hot, and you know what? Take it while you can, because there are days where it may not be that way. By all means, you know what I mean. Bale hay while the sun shines. You're killing it, brother.
Yeah, I will always appreciate and I'll always take any opportunity I can. I try to just make the most of everything.
Well, let's see if we had anything else in
Yep,
here.
I got one more here. James Nader asked, "How did you feel when we were talking about the injuries? How did you feel after that fall off the ladder with Justice at Hammerstein?"
Um, well, I was still intact. Definitely felt whatever pain I was feeling in my elbow for whatever reason. Um, but I will tell you, it was one of those things where it's like, it was what was that spot? All of 3 seconds, maybe that.
Yeah.
It felt like 4 minutes, just going through the air and just being like, I hope that when this hits, I can move my legs. I hope when this moves, I am not in a wheelchair and my head can move. So it was definitely a terrifying experience. But hey, it worked out and it was like the sickest shit. So
You both appear comfortable together
yeah,
as dancing partners, honestly.
I definitely would like to see a lot more interactions, for sure.
I mean, whoever wants to book it, make it happen.
That's right. So,
all right, John, I'm gonna go. I'm still in the first personal question here because Clown
rock and roll.
He's here every day, first in the chat, always before the show. Clown wants to know, what's your favorite Disney character and why?
Okay, character's a tough one. I'd probably say Donald.
Sorry, John.
Sorry. Big fan of Donald Duck. He's a fucking hothead. He's crazy. Favorite Disney movie? I'm probably gonna say Roger Rabbit.
Wow, yes, I love that pull.
Not to be a dork either, but I would probably say second favorite is probably Nightmare Before Christmas. But the fuck and then Robin Hood. What a good movie. Underrated movie. But yeah, we'll go with that. That's the answers. I'm good.
That Roger Rabbit answer was enough for me, man.
I don't even want to go down this rabbit hole.
So let's go this route then. What's your favorite sport and sports team?
Favorite sport? Probably baseball. The Mets. One thing me and Brett very much have in common. and Joey. I used to be a huge Knicks fan. Used to love the Knicks. Basketball, in my opinion, has very much gone downhill. It's I like watching it when it's on or whatever, but it used to be such a like an aggressive, like physical sport, and now it's just every time that someone passes the ball, it stops. There's a foul. There's just, and then the Knicks have just. So I'll go with baseball as my number one. I haven't been super into it lately because I feel like I try to juggle as many things as my brain can possibly handle, and baseball just hasn't been one of my number ones lately. But the Mets fucking crushed it last year, and hopefully they do better next year or this year.
I think getting Soto is going to help out quite a bit.
Yes, right.
Now, when you were in Vegas, did you have a chance to go down to Phoenix for spring break?
No, never.
Should have done it. Should have done it, man. That's what's up, because you can get down there, and in 2-3 days you can see like 4, 5, 6, 7 games.
So funny enough, living in Vegas, and this is the weirdest thing, and I never in a million years thought I'd ever do this. We had this friend, Justin, who invited us, and I went to a professional lacrosse game.
Mm-hmm.
My high school that I went to, that Mick Foley also went to, their like number one sport they're known for is lacrosse. And I can tell you, I never want to see a lacrosse stick ever again. And because it's just such a like an obnoxious sport. But like the people who were in there are obnoxious. Well, at least my high school were. But another story for another day. But fucking going to that, I was like, I never thought I'd be at this. But Vegas is another one where, other than the hockey team, nobody gives a shit about any other teams. I think the WNBA team is starting to pop off a little bit.
Yeah, because they had to win like 2 or 3 championships to get there.
Like, I'm sure that there's at least half the stadium's full now for that team, but I know the hockey team, everybody goes fucking crazy for.
Yeah. Hockey's huge out here. I know a lot of people, a lot of fans, especially like my father-in-law. He's huge on baseball. He's actually trying to get to each stadium. We're just hoping they come to town and everything's good here, because then we'll be able to see Yankees at a good price, the Mets at a good price. You know what I mean?
The Athletics are the team, right?
Say it again.
The Athletics are the ones moving into Vegas?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's one of those things where, I mean, even New Yorkers will come from out of town to here because they can get a cheaper Yankees game here and they get to gamble.
For sure. And I hope that, this is very minimal. I hope that they keep that goofy elephant mascot, because he's so funny looking. So we'll see. I think it's an elephant, right?
Isn't that yeah, he's the one with the elephant.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know his name, but
I don't know his name either, but he's goofy as shit.
So now we're going to talk about something kind of fun here. You sell trading cards, don't you?
I don't sell trading cards, but I very much play trading cards. Did you say sell or did you say play?
I was wondering if you sold any.
From time to time, we'll sell them like for store credit because we're psychos and we're addicted. But yes, right. Big on playing trading cards, especially Magic the Gathering. I've tried the other games. My brain can literally only hold like one game, so I have to pick and choose what I'm going to do. But Magic the Gathering is our thing. We just got back from MagicCon. Me and the missus dominated. It was sick. She actually did like a tournament and won 2 of the 3 rounds. So shout out to Kenzie.
Nice.
But yeah, Magic rules.
Man.
So Reed wants to hear a lot more about this MagicCon.
Magic Gathering, they do a convention where the 2 places in America that they always do it in is Chicago and Vegas. Post Malone was at the Las Vegas one too. He's also a big Magic player. It's funny, you find out all these weird celebrities that are like super into Magic the Gathering. And then I think there's one in Atlanta too this year, which we're going to try to go to that one. So, but it's great. Literally, I played with so many different people. They have like a service there where you go up and you're like, I want to play Commander. And they just find you people to play with. And I played with people from all over the country a bunch. And I was like, it ended. And we were like, oh, we have to go home now. This sucks. Post-con blues.
Are you ready for a Magic the Gathering question?
Let's hit it. Let's go.
Okay. Well, just in case anyone else is listening, let's see what happens here. If a player casts Wheel of Fortune while controlling a Notion Thief and an opponent has a Hull Breacher in play, How many cards does each player draw? And who discards their hand, assuming there's no other effects? I'll say it again if you need me to.
I'm trying to think. I don't fully know the question.
Sure.
Is it double the amount of cards? Because Wheel of Fortune, it's 7 cards, right? So would it be 14?
So here's how, I mean, literally
Like,
no shit.
You
This
just
is
called him out of bullshit right there.
Yeah, right. He prepared himself for this shit.
I actually prepared this. So here's what I did. No kidding. I
Okay.
actually looked up what would be considered a difficult question to just have. I wanted you to just kind of kick it around in your head. And
You saw his
just-
brain moving though for that magic question. His brain
Yes.
was going
Well,
there.
because
Yes.
I know it's not. I know I'm almost positive because you don't see people play Wheel of Fortune or even wheel the cards, which is funny enough because I am making like a discard deck and I have a lot of like I have a wheel-esque card in it, and I know when you wheel, I'm pretty sure it's discard your hand, but they most of the time have you draw 7 cards.
Correct.
And,
Correct.
I know with what you're saying is most of the time it's never going to be less cards. It's always going to be more. So I'm going to say 14.
So here's what would happen.
Okay, lay it on
The
me.
player casting Wheel of Fortune with the Notion Thief discards their hand and draws 7 cards. The opponent with the Hall Breacher discards their hand, draws no cards, and creates 7 treasure tokens.
Oh,
So
that actually kind of sucks. As much as I would love the mana and the treasure, having no cards would fucking suck.
I had to give you one that's a weird one. So thank you for holding on. That was one
Fair.
of those really wild questions. I didn't know, I didn't know if you'd have anything on that.
I
It's
tried,
like,
man. I tried.
you like chess, huh? So give me the history of chess.
His brain was going though. I like seeing that.
Yeah, I was like,
love
man, I think I know this one.
Frank wants to know, were you recognized at the con by anybody?
Funny enough, people came over to Kenzie and were like, "This is Redacted," and I think that part's funny. But yeah, that's really about it.
So you are a doctor. What are
Yes.
5 things the doctor recommends for the GCW Nation here tonight?
Oh, for the eat your protein, get lots of protein. We shout out protein.
Mhm.
What else would I want to shout out to the GCW thing? You can buy my merch. We love when you guys buy my merch. That's huge. If you guys ever want to bring me stuff, you can bring me magic cards, and I will take them.
That's 3.
We also love energy drinks. C4 Ghost, always open to that. And please don't spill beer on me. I fucking hate when people spill beer on me. It drives me crazy in the crowd, and it's just like, what are you doing, spilling beer all over me?
Please don't. Yeah.
Half the time I know it's intentional, and half the time I know it's not. But for the love of anything, just don't do it.
If we take anything from those 5, I mean, there you go, fans. Please don't be disrespectful to a man who's, doing his best out there. This is, do you collect anything?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, definitely magic cards. Me and Kenzie are really big Disney pin collectors. I know that's oddly specific, but we're huge on it.
That's me. That's me, dude. We have to talk afterwards. No, dude. I've got like Loungefly pins. I've got all kinds of dude. I've got. I got a Balrog.
Japan pins. We got them all.
Oh man.
How many cork? Do you have? How do you display them? Do you do cork boards?
Okay, so the ones that I know I'm not gonna sell or anything, I'll cork board.
Yeah.
For like work, because I am in actual scrubs. I have what's it called? Like a thing around my neck, and I'll just put pins on there
lanyard.
too. Yes, I'll have a lanyard. I'll have pins on the lanyard. It's a great talking point for people, like if we're dealing with kids or whatnot at work. I'm like, oh, hey, you like Mickey Mouse also.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so, gosh, we started this 3-4 years ago, but now it's to a point to where I have someone at Disney Paris who will send me what's coming out in the next like month or two, and then I can order from them, and it takes a month or so, but
it gets
like
there.
Tokyo, Paris, all of them have different pin releases than you'll get in the United
Shanghai,
States.
Hong Kong. It drives me crazy.
Right, and then there's ones for food and wine, all the festivals and everything.
We're going to discuss this. We're going to have an arrangement.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yep. Now, B, what do you collect?
I
collect pop figures.
Oh,
Nice.
That's a dangerous rabbit hole.
Yeah, I got
Oh.
wrestling ones. Like I collect wrestling.
That's
pop figures.
sick. And I was at one point in my life, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this too. And then they started putting out pops for, oh, I don't know, everything. And I was like, I can't do this. This is
can't keep up.
I'm also really big into collecting shirts. I'm a huge vintage shirt guy or like bootleg guy. And I will tell you, it is a money pit. And I love and hate it so much.
Yeah, John actually gave me the holy grail for my to finish my elite collection. He found the Kenny Omega for me, and
hell yeah.
I had a friend who actually just so happened to have one and gave it to me at a great price. Like everything was perfect.
When it comes to like what you collect, Kenzie is just realizing this now, but the trading aspect is the best part. It's such a fulfilling feeling. I don't know how much you guys do it in pop figures. I'm sure it happens, but the trading aspect is the best.
So I used to like look for comic books. Yeah, and just like for me, it's like the hunt to find that one comic book.
Just
yep. You finally find the one, you hold it up. It's like, I found it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, I agree with you. That's the best part. The search for it all
is always the best. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I collect those miniature like houses at Christmas, like the old people do. I love doing that.
But see, that's cool though. I like that shit. I remember you talking about that on one of the other podcasts, and I was like, dude, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, dude. It's like imagination. You're just using imagination like a kid.
Is it okay if I pee real quick?
Yeah,
you can do whatever you want, man. You could do it with us or without us.
Preferably without.
Definitely without.
Preferably without.
We want to be on next week.
Yeah, you can mute and hit the camera. You're good, man. We can wait for you. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, Clown. While he's doing that, Clown. Yeah, I got the Kenny. Like I had the Young Bucks one, and like I couldn't find the Kenny. And like I could have bought it on Amazon, but like no, that's like no fun. So like anytime I went to like a Comic-Con or something, I was looking for the Kenny Omega, and I couldn't find it. And then John busted it out. I was like, but the Holy Grail, I found it.
Dude, it was so much luck. Do you have it nearby?
Yeah, right.
We have a second. That's what I'm saying. Why not? Hell, let's have some fun tonight. Oh, by the way, this may be the next to last or the last time everybody sees this background. It's we've completed 1 year at Game Changer Weekly here on the 5th of March, and I have a bookshelf coming and a bunch of other stuff I'm gonna put up there. So I wanted to let everyone know why we have it here. And I also want people's opinions. I was thinking about raising the GCW flag a little bit so it could be seen better. Some people actually want it behind my head. And I also thought about the possibility of moving it to one side or the other. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, dude, I got to see
the Kenny Omega one that John got me. It's I can't really see it.
It keeps fading out on you.
Yeah, I got the blur on, that's why, but I guess I could take the blur off. Let me see.
All right, we're back. Hey.
Oh, hey, everything come out all right?
Yeah, the pipes are working. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's one John got me. But
did I miss anything? What happened?
No, I was just showing the pops real fast to kill some time.
We were legitimately just having a good time while you were gone. Like we're just kicking it now. So, let's see here. This is always a fun one. Do you have a favorite cologne or perfume, or do you have favorite smells?
No, I'm just really big on deodorant. I'm big on smelling good.
Thank you.
I don't really need cologne. Shout out to my fellow Magic players. Please, more of you use deodorant. I would love it if you did. That's my big concern. Wrestling fans get a lot of shit for it, but I will say a lot of wrestling fans do not smell. So I'm putting it there.
I think it was a real conscious effort at one point, and I think some people became a little more self-aware. Like maybe 10% who were offenders became a little more self-aware, and that's good.
I know there's tons of people that will disagree with that, but for the most part, I've never been like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into collecting later. I also do Loungefly bags. No shit.
Oh, okay.
The mini
That's
bags.
more of a Kenzie thing. I can't bring myself to wear a little backpack like that.
Oh no, I don't, dude. I'm 6'3". I can't do that. But
yeah, if I'm gonna wear a backpack, it needs to efficiently hold a good amount of stuff. Plus, a little backpack looks weird on me. It looks cute on her. That's just my opinion.
Exactly.
But, that's another big money pit. Do we have like 3 or 4 Muppets Loungeflies? Yes, I get it.
Yeah, man. It got to a point. Okay, so what happened was I found out what ladies wanted, and then I'd go buy them directly on release date at that hour, and then I would turn around and sell it to them for much more later. And
you're telling the world here how you're abusing these women over here.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, I'm
Fucking
just
John
saying.
the Flipper over here.
Yes, that is true. Dude, sometimes bags would sell out within 10 to 15 minutes. And then there are people wanting this $80 bag for up to $300.
You're the
because
reason I
it's so
couldn't get my
rare.
son an Iron Man mask on Sunday.
No,
Right now,
what's
John, I'm going to talk about your kind. You
my
flippers. There's a Rizzo pin that just came out at Disney, sold out from the Muppets. And
Ouch.
now people are trying to flip this $20 pin for fucking $95, you psychos.
Yep, that sounds about right. You know what's
God,
really making
squirming,
money
doctor. Give it to him,
is
doc.
Yeah.
the Lorcana cards are making
those are
crazy money.
It's interesting because that was what I tried to get into before Magic, obviously, Disney guy, but they fucked up the launch of it so badly. What does it say?
John is the reason they're a per customer limit. Oh fuck, guys! Am I that
fucking
guy
egg
now?
slinger over here, Johnny Eggs.
Johnny Eggs. Oh my god, why does that work?
Scrambled ass Johnny over here.
Dude, he's dying. All right.
Hard boiled John.
Hard boiled John.
But no, the fucking Lorcana thing. When they launched it, they fucked up the launch so bad, and then you had to wait like 2 months to get the first set of cards that just dropped because their distributor, they had an issue with it, and then she got me into Magic, and then the wife got me into Magic. Crazy.
Really?
And then I've noticed Lorcana has plummeted in popularity too, and I blame the start of it.
Yeah, I just thought about investing in it and just sitting on them for 10, 20 years because you know how Disney stuff goes, you know?
Yes. The Disney stuff, there'll always be a giant market for it. Unfortunately, I have to watch out because the shirts, I get very tempted. So I always have to pump the brakes.
This may be a topic for another time, but when it comes to Magic the Gathering sets, what has been the hot one right now to buy? Or is it even hot right now?
So we do it this way. We always buy singles for whatever like deck we're gonna make right now. The one that like really like sparked my interest was I'm a big Jurassic Park fan. I can't wait for the new movie. Dinosaurs, Godzilla. I'm into it. Let's go. They did last year or the year before. They did a set called The Lost Caverns of Ixalan that had Jurassic Park and Jurassic World crossover. And I was like, well, clearly I know what I'm gonna do. My first deck was a Dino deck, and I still play it today, and it holds up and it definitely kicks the shit out of people from time to time. But right now it's just whatever new set comes out is what kind of gets deemed as like the hot set. The newest set is pretty terrible right now. It's called Aether Drift. It's like Magic's take on Wacky Racers. If you remember the Hanna-Barbera show, Wacky Racers.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sucks. I don't use vehicles. I don't play with vehicles. I picked up some of the cards, but yeah, that's just my take.
Yeah, Pokemon pools on Prismatic and all those newer ones have not been all that hot. I'm going to get off on another tangent. We do have to have a talk outside of here. This is pretty cool.
Please.
I have a show and tell question here.
I love show and tell.
But it's a different version, John.
Oh, shit.
Reed Harris wants to know if we could have any show and tells on the tats and any stories with the tattoos.
A lot of my tattoos are just stuff that I really like in general. True story. I don't feel like Marvel played me, but it definitely inspired it. I have like a big chest piece for Spider-Man, and it was right when Peter Parker and Spider-Man died. And I was just like, oh my God, I was so hurt by it. And they ended up bringing him back like a year later, which is whatever. I don't regret the tattoo by any means, but I definitely what's inspired it. But like my whole back is just Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah. And that's just because Godzilla's fucking sick. I mean, King Ghidorah is like his number one arch enemy in my view. I'm looking at my tattoos. A lot of them are just, like I said, just shit I like for the most part. I have a few friends that are tattoo artists, and my one friend Jake, I'll definitely show up to the shop, and he's like, "I've already decided what you're getting," and it's like, well, a choice would be nice too, but he's like, "No, you're getting this," and that's how it usually is. Yeah.
All right, Kenzie's going to throw you on the bus here with this comment. Dr. Redacted also comes out the Magic Gathering table when he's yelling at people, calling them that.
No, okay. So I don't call the people that. I'll be like, dude, that's such a cocksucker move. Or I'll be like, fucking God damn it. Like sometimes these people, they just play those fucking counter spells or just hit me with shit randomly. I'm like, fucking cocksucker. Like, I'm not saying
You're not saying it mean.
Yeah. I'm just like, fuck. Like, God damn it, dude. Like, it's just one of those things.
What's the maddest you've ever been at the Magic table?
What'd you say?
What's the maddest you've ever been at a table?
All right, we have 2 stories for this one. So we start to play this one game. We sit down, and this kid goes, I have all made up cards. And some people do this thing called proxying, where they will go outside of getting actual Magic cards, and they'll have like fake cards made, but they look like real cards. And that's whatever. I understand not everybody has money to go out and spend on whatever, like this stuff. It's an expensive hobby. And then I was like, okay, so you have proxies. And he's like, no, like I made all the cards. And I'm like, elaborate. And he's like, I wrote them out and made all the artwork and said the text of what they're going to say. And I just went, oh no. And then my friend who's there playing with us, his name's Glenn. We call him Merlin. That was the nickname he told us. It works for Magic the Gathering. Weird, I know, but he's great. He's like, no, let's play. I want to see it. I want to say the game lasted all of 6 or 7 minutes. A game on average goes for about an hour. So that was just like, dude, get this kid the fuck away from me. I'm trying to think of another game where I got really fucking mad. Merlin definitely brings out my anger pretty hard playing against him. There's no worse feeling than when you're like, I'm about to bring down the final blow. And then someone's like, top 3, here you go, game. You don't do anything now. And it's just like, I definitely haven't gotten to table flipping rage yet, but there's been points where I'm like, it's boiling. It's there.
Wow. Calling someone like a cocksucker or something, that's just an East Coast thing. And if you know East Coast, you know that's kind of just
we're aggressive. We're fucking aggressive.
But it's loving. It's the most loving way you can say it to someone, you know? So,
exactly.
Yeah. We'll kind of flip back to wrestling just for a second. What's a skill you've picked up from wrestling that's surprisingly useful in everyday life?
Definitely finding my way around places, finding like good food places everywhere, and knowing like travel scenarios. I definitely know like how to get to places for not cheaper, but like better routes or I think I'm making sense right now what I'm saying. But I've noticed with wrestling, getting around the country and all that kind of stuff has definitely helped me out a lot better.
And then also self-care. I'm sure you've learned more about self-care, wound treatment. I mean, those are kind of very important things.
I've learned that the match can suck and hurt, but the alcohol, like the rubbing alcohol being, or like the cleaner being poured on me after, is going to hurt a million times more. And
like
it is going to be off. The first shower, the only time the first shower ever was bad was after that Detroit show with Murdoch, where my hands were there was holes, like legit holes in my fucking hands. And I remember going into that shower, just water touching it. I was like, it felt like somebody like lit a match in my hand. It was terrible. But then she poured on that like wound solution, whatever the fuck it is. And brother, I got to tell you, it was like, I was like drinking acid. It was terrible. It was just surges through my damn body.
What is your go-to way to unwind after a brutal match or a long trip? Like, do you get on your phone and play games or anything?
No, that's the flight thing. I've definitely become a phone game guy. It's kind of embarrassing. I don't mind it though. I definitely just started playing Royal Match, which I feel like everyone knows of because there's always advertisements for it.
Yeah.
Or Royal Kingdom, which is, I love puzzle games on the phone. I was a huge Tetris mark. And I definitely started playing Block Blast a lot. If anyone knows Block Blast, great game, super fucking addicting.
That's like the crack now for kids, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. After a match, it's food. Food is first come, first serve. Let's get some fucking food. We'll clean wounds, unless it's something like the hands. Go back to the hands again. Then it's like, okay, we'll worry about this first. But food is always a priority, especially if you're in a good food town. Love a good food town. There's some not so good food towns where, you got to settle for the fast food or whatever. But there are certain towns where it's like, we got to hit that place up or we got to order food from there before it closes.
All
And then
right,
the
I
show.
guess I gotta say, what's your favorite food town?
Philadelphia is a good one. California, you guys have had your moments. You're not from California, but it's okay.
Close
Um,
enough.
yeah. It's because we saw each other there, so that's why.
Yes, yes.
Vegas, great food town, great. The Northeast, all good food towns, all good food towns. New York, Connecticut. Connecticut has the best pizza ever, New Haven style. Anyone who wants to argue it, please, I will see you in the fucking streets. We will go toe to toe on this
There
argument.
it is.
New Haven
There it
style
is.
pizza is the best type of pizza in the entire world. Chicago, great food town. Tennessee, fucking rules. I've had definitely some of the
Really?
best barbecue I've ever had there. Orlando, not just because of Disney, but good food town in general. Texas still hasn't wowed me yet. I'm gonna be honest. Texas has let me down. Um,
Are you a sushi guy or no?
okay, I'm gonna get a ton of heat for these next two remarks. Seafood, eggs, mushroom. Can't do it. Just can't do it.
Gotcha.
She's the sushi head. Funny enough, the other day coming home from MagicCon, we went to all you can eat sushi. I get all the hibachi crap, but she's the big sushi head.
There are a couple all you can eat sushis out here in Las Vegas too. I always keep in the back of my head in case
Brother,
someone...
there's just some good buffets out there. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, you got to know where you're looking though too to get a good price.
Oh yeah. I'm not trying to go to one of the resorts and
No.
drop a fucking 3 digits on a fucking buffet.
And I recommend definitely talk to some Vegas locals before any of you come out here for Collective in April, because we could save you some money giving you some great heads up on some places.
Outside of the Strip and outside of Fremont, there is good food and it's everywhere. Fuku Burger, I've told B especially, I laid it into him about it. Fuku Burger is the #1 place you guys want to go. Whether it's you like burgers or Asian foods, it's the mesh. It comes together. It's a perfect burger. It was voted Vegas's #1 burger. It's fucking sick. Chicken sandwiches, the French fries. They also love wrestling. They love Godzilla. They love anime there. It is the ultimate place for any wrestling fan. I said it. Mic drop.
I'm going there Collective weekend. When you told me that was my plan.
Yeah.
I'm going there sometime Collective weekend.
There you go, motherfucker. Maybe we'll all go together. We'll make it a
I'm down.
weekly dinner or some bullshit.
Show you some of these
I'm
pins
in.
I got. Cody Hewitt said, I remember when KFC had a buffet. Dude, I remember when Wendy's had a buffet.
Salad
The
buffet.
Pizza Hut by me would do a Pizza Hut buffet. That was sick.
That was the good ones.
The good old days.
Yes.
I will say one of my favorite places on the road, and this is a post-show thing. It's always post-show. I love is Waffle House. I will fuck Waffle House up beyond belief post-show.
I'm about to say
Phoenix.
sorry. I'm still in this Muscle Mag. Oh my god, I forgot his name. But there's a Malcolm. He asked this question: what's the Waffle House order?
Oh, Waffle House order. Real quick though, B Phoenix. After
I'm
that
in.
show, Waffle
I'm in.
House. Let's fucking go.
Because after that, then I'm going home after that. But I'm in. Let's go. I'm
Hell
definitely
yeah.
in.
Okay, so Waffle House order. We're getting at least 1 to 2 blueberry waffles, preferably 1. We're gonna go sugar-free syrup. We're putting the butter on there. Then we are gonna get the they do like a cheesesteak bowl or a chicken bowl. I'm always gonna do the grilled chicken bowl over the potatoes, where we're gonna have onion, cheese. Sometimes you add the bacon, sometimes you don't, and sometimes if you want to get real crazy, you add the jalapeno. And then what a lot of people don't know, you have to ask for the Waffle House sauce. It's like a Southwest sauce. A lot of people don't know about it. They only have it in packets. It fucking slaps. That's a young kid term. I know it is, but they love that. I love that shit. It slaps. That's the only way I can describe it. It's sick. Or use the Heinz 57 sauce. That's also really good too. A lot of people don't utilize that there, but it's good.
I never knew they had the Southwest sauce. That's why I was like, whoa, what?
Also in this house, we're huge Texas Roadhouse marks. We love Texas Roadhouse.
That's good stuff.
Shout out Texas Roadhouse.
All right. So since we're in the food realm, chicken wings, drums or flats?
Oh, flats all day, dude. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing. Listen, I will never discriminate, but it's always drums. I mean, always flats. Always flats. Always flats. Yeah, sorry. We're getting a little Dr. Redacted right now.
Where you going? Where you going for wings?
I'm gonna be honest. I love Wingstop. I'm a huge Wingstop connoisseur. Their dry rubs, the lemon pepper. Perfect.
Yes.
The Louisiana
I like the garlic
dry
parm.
Rub, perfect. I don't do garlic parm. Garlic parm is always there's this one place by us called it's like a sports bar. She really likes the garlic parm there, though.
Yeah. Good old Buffalo Wild Wings from Ohio. Being from Ohio, like that's kind of where it all came from. So,
Listen, it used to be the spot, and then they fell
Yeah.
off super hard.
their wings got all small and shit. They fucked it all up, and then the prices went through the roof. Like a dozen wings is like a car payment
Ian
now.
said you better shout out Jay Tibbs or you're in trouble.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting shit right now. She's down there. She's down there. Came into the other room telling me. All right, so a friend of ours. Okay, so in Connecticut, I don't know the exact name of the town. There is a place called J. Timothy's. It is the measuring stick for perfect wings. You get dirt style. It comes in a bucket. They give you the bucket after too. And they like the presentation of them pouring the wings out of the bucket and all the sauce. It is the best way you can describe it is, yeah, dude, it's choking me up. It's crazy. It's that good. The best way to describe it, it's a death row meal. People sleep on Connecticut. It's got some of the best food you'll ever have.
Ranch, blue cheese. You doing
always ranch. Blue cheese is gross. Ranch always.
Nice. All right.
Also, Buffalo Wild Wings Wingstop has an incredible ranch dressing. It's so fucking good.
I don't even usually eat the ranch over there.
What happened?
I just usually eat the wings. The wings are just good by themselves at Wingstop.
Yeah. Most of the time, I don't need the ranch for that, but for like the fries or something, let's go. Those voodoo fries. Whoop.
What's your favorite fast food?
Favorite fast food? Oh, great question. Okay, so that's a loaded question, in my opinion. Because when I think fast food, I think McDonald's and like Burger King or like even Taco Bell. But then there's like that realm of like Five Guys or like Portillo's, Culver's. I'm saying Midwest places I know. Or places like that where it's like a burger place. So it's food that's just prepared fast, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like if you think about it, a burger should not take very long to make, but there are burger places and then there's fast food places. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
I really loved those Taco Bell chicken nuggets for a while. I definitely made Effie and Jimmy pull over to get us Taco Bell chicken nuggets once. Brother, we stopped at the craziest. We stopped at the craziest KFC Taco Bell there I've ever been to. They had pictures on the wall of like the Colonel, like in Egypt, or the Colonel at like in a parade. Dude, there were some crazy ass photos that I was like, the Colonel riding a fucking camel. It was crazy. It was nuts. My mind was blown. Man, I don't know. Favorite fast food. There's definitely been some nights where we were tricked into getting McDonald's, and I regret nothing. But fast food. I feel like on the road, Taco Bell is always the safe route to go. Like whenever we're in a road trip, for the most part, everybody in the car can agree to Taco Bell. And depending on what you order, you don't always feel like shit after eating Taco Bell. McDonald's is that in the moment, you're like, man, this was great. And then an hour later, you're like depressed and sad.
That explains the sadness there.
She's telling me I should say Portillo's.
Like Culver's and Portillo's. Yeah.
Those are not. What did you just call it?
Portillo's.
Portillo's. It's the Midwest.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is Portillo's.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so funny. There is one in California near Knott's Berry Farm. So if you guys are ever out that way, hit that one up. Also, Knott's Berry Farm kind of sucks. I was expecting the food there to be very good, and it was.
Have you had the chicken place there?
The one that's like right outside the park, right?
Yeah.
No, I did not, but I heard it is good.
Yeah, I heard.
I think it's so interesting that California is known for secretly having really good fried chicken. I think that's so odd.
Yeah.
I would never like. There's a few places in California where people like the fried chicken's the best. I would never think that.
Interesting. So then, I'll ask you about what's your favorite family recipe. Do you have a go-to comfort food that no one can beat?
So my mom makes some pretty decent food from when she wants to. Shout out to my mom. She's pretty great. She makes a beef stroganoff, and as long as she doesn't put the mushrooms in it, I could eat it every day of the week if you ask me to. She also makes incredible chicken cutlets that listen, I'm a cutlet guy. Let's fucking go. Good chicken cutlet. That's an every day of the week meal right there. But yeah, those are the two that my mom. It's like when she makes that shit, let's fucking go.
Okay, well let's Let's go back into the little doctor's past a little. Do you
Ooh.
remember the video games you dominated when you were a kid?
I definitely started off with the original Nintendo. I definitely was a kid who got very frustrated with Duck Hunt. If anybody remembers Duck Hunt, love Super Mario, love all those. I definitely have all of, well, not all, but a good chunk of like the C tier Mario villains tattooed on me. Yes, I say Mario. I'm from the Northeast. I got shit for it in Vegas. Someone who said it's Mario and said I was den naming Mario because I called him Mario, not Mario. So that's just the way I say it. I'm sorry. I also say gyro. I don't say euro. Get over it. Listen, there's people out there. They correct me. I hate it.
I'm about to say, no wonder why you jumped down me on that tortilla.
I get fucked with
that
on
was fun. I never
gyro.
heard it pronounced that way. That's why I was like, what?
So I only know the one in LA or like by Knott's Berry, so I thought it was like Spanish, like kind of Hispanic, but I guess not.
To be fair, they do have a tamale there, and it's pretty great.
Okay, that's close enough then.
But yeah, those were good. Turtles in Time, classic arcade game. Maybe the best soundtrack on like an 8-bit game, like the classic old arcade games. The X-Men game.
Turtles in Time's the second one, or is that the first one?
Second one.
Okay.
First one was bad.
But like the first 3 levels, the music is perfect on it. For anyone that wants to out there, YouTube the Turtles in Time music. It's great. Sorry. When I was a kid, the Chuck E. Cheese would be the go-to place when my father would pick me up. And I will tell you, they had that X-Men arcade game there, and they had Turtles in Time, and they had The Simpsons. Simpsons never really appealed to me video game-wise. Solid game, solid show, but the X-Men game and Turtles were like, that was all my tokens right there, just those 2. Other games,
Turtles was mine.
Dude, it's the best. It's the best. They came out with one for the Switch not too long ago that's very similar to Turtles in Time, and it was great. It wasn't long enough. That was my problem with it. It was too short, but it was really good. The first Turtles movie too, that's a top 10 movie for me.
That's the one with Nash, right?
No, he's in the second one. He's in the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, Secret of the Ooze.
The Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
Him and Vanilla Ice.
It was that one, yeah.
That's a 1-2 punch you can't get in any other movie.
It's wild. But yeah, video games, Sega Genesis. I was definitely a Sonic kid. The only Nintendo system I ever owned was the original Nintendo 64. 64, dude, Super Smash Brothers, any generation, all great.
Yeah.
I think, what was it? The third one was the worst one, though.
No, I can't remember that far back.
Okay, whatever. GoldenEye, though, Perfect Dark.
Oh, yep.
Perfect
Mario
games.
64.
2 perfect, 3 perfect games.
Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire. Let's fucking go. All the levels where you could like fly the ships, dude. The Hoth level, I could do that for hours. Let's go. Just put me in Hoth and let me single-handedly
Got the
take that
good games.
Yeah,
dude. My favorite was the WCW games because that was the first time you could
Revenge.
play 4 players.
Revenge was like the only game I played on N64.
I was just recently in Disney, and I'm like waiting for Kenzie to get out of the bathroom, and this guy's standing there. I'm looking at a shirt. I'm like, is that a WCW NWO Revenge shirt? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, brother, what a fucking shirt. And I think it's so funny how, like, if you look at the cover of that game, Raven's on it, and finding out that the guy was just like, I thought that Raven guy was cool, so they put him on the box. I think that's so funny. They're just like, yeah, he looks cool. Put him on the box.
He's front and center too. Yeah.
No Mercy and Fire Pro Wrestling, the one that came out on PlayStation 2, are the 2 best wrestling games ever created. Whoever wants to argue with it, I'm right here. Come find me.
Fire Pro 2, I agree with you.
Dude, it was so good. It's with then they had the MMA like add-on to it. Just I had so many Friday nights of just playing that with my friends and being Mirko Cro Cop and just kicking the shit out of people.
Yes.
Man.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what music were you listening to back then?
Okay, so funny enough, first ever concert, Hootie and the Blowfish, 7 years old. First ever concert. I definitely, my big takeaway from it was that they said, damn it. That was a curse word. Fast forward years later, I worked for Darius Rucker, and he was the nicest fucking guy of all time. Super fucking cool. Definitely played an extra Hootie song that night because I mentioned that I was like that was my first ever concert. But you know, like punk hardcore. That's always been like my go-to, my draw. I like this. But yeah, man, this video game talk could go on for a while for our kids. We got to get away from it.
Yeah,
No,
that
you're
one
good.
I could have gone jump with you on that one for a while.
Yeah. Also, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, in theory,
wow.
I'm like,
64.
this game was made for me. And then playing it, no, not it.
Reed is asking, did Effie work with Darius as well?
No, he did.
Or Hootie,
Effie
sorry.
worked for Hootie too.
I only worked one show for him, but I did not see Effie there. I wish I would have. That would have been sick. I will say his crew was so nice. They shared food with us and everything. And I was like, shit, yeah, let's go.
The
Sorry,
Hootie
John.
crew?
What?
The Hootie
Yeah, the
crew?
Hootie. Oh, that was another
Hootie
thing.
crew.
They were like, they pulled me aside the night before the venue I was working for at the time. They pulled me aside and they're like, hey, this is a secret, but we're going to tell you because we don't trust you. And I was like, what do you mean you don't trust me? And they're like, so Darius Rucker is going to be performing here tomorrow. And I said, Hootie? And they're like, can't call him Hootie. No, that does not fly. Do never call him Hootie. Otherwise, we will be in trouble. So I had to be on my best behavior for that one.
All right, then. What cereal were you eating?
Okay, nowadays, my favorite cereal is Raisin Bran Crunch. I know that sounds like a very vanilla, like, ugh, but I love Raisin Bran Crunch. As a kid, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, didn't even need the milk. Don't even need the milk.
Yeah.
Frosted Mini Wheats, don't need the milk. That's a hand snack right there. That's like chips. Frosted Flakes, it was a classic. Throw some banana in there. We're set. I was definitely that psycho kid, though, who would put like an extra spoonful of sugar into Frosted Flakes. Psycho.
Yeah.
I did that for Raisin Bran.
Okay. Spicing it up, I see.
Yeah, get some extra sugar in there.
I was the family that we weren't allowed to have that stuff. So it was like, you know what I mean? Like Cheerios with some sugar or something like that. Like,
were you the
had to
multi meal
compensate.
kid? The kid who got the cereal in a bag?
No, it was just I was the fat ass kid, so my parents didn't want me to eat all that shit. So they're like, no, did you fuck, please? No, but you know what I mean. They're like, okay, no sugar cereals, but you can use sugar on, your puffed wheat or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So
the shit that you didn't want to eat anyway.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there like crying over oatmeal. I'm like, ah.
John wasn't the kid who was eating cereal with milk. It was with tears.
It was with tears, tears and Cheerios.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this gets fun. What kind of cartoons were you watching? You a Nick kid, a Disney kid, a Fox kid?
Okay, so when I was younger, that was when you still had to buy Disney Channel and you had to pay for it. So
Yeah.
Nickelodeon was huge. I remember all the original shows. Flintstones. I definitely have a Fred Flintstone tattoo. Jetsons. Loved Yogi Bear. Let's go.
Hanna-Barbera
is huge.
Yeah.
Once Cartoon Network came into the fold too, that was another one. I was like, cartoons, 24 hours? Hell yeah. Because let's be honest, when Nickelodeon would become Nick at Night, it was like you can only watch so many episodes of Happy Days or, I Love Lucy before you're ready to blow your brains out. Yeah. Or before you're ready to just be like, I need cartoons, I'm a child. But yeah, Nickelodeon, Rugrats, Hey Arnold. I definitely remember seeing, I believe it was Harriet the Spy in theaters, and they showed the pilot for Hey Arnold. That was a good one. Ren and Stimpy. I actually have a Ren and Stimpy shirt on right now.
That's cool.
Shout out to Ren and Stimpy. That was one as a kid. I was even like, this is weird. Like, this is funny, but this shit's weird too. Oh, Tom and Jerry. Shout out Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry is surprisingly really big in Japan, like now.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about that. What's going on there? Do you?
Tom and Jerry and Curious George are huge over there.
Curious George. Wow.
We almost went to a Curious George cafe.
Oh, that's cool though. That's cool though.
And then they were like, "Oh, you don't have a reservation," even though the restaurant's like only a quarter full. They're big on reservations there, so I can't knock them. But that's like their gimmick. But Curious George and Tom and Jerry, huge in Japan. I don't get it, but I'm here for it.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
So then, do you have a toy you remember from when you were a kid that you wish you had now? Or?
Not that I wish I had it now, but all the original Ninja Turtle toys. Bucky O'Hare and Toxic Avenger. I will say those three lines of toys are easily the best toys. They still hold up. Earthworm Jim had pretty sick toy like figures there for a minute, but nothing compared to the Turtle toys, in my opinion. Whether it was the big jailhouse or their van that they drive. It was all the sickest shit. Later on, let's say like 9 or 10, when Spider-Man was on Fox 5 or Fox, the Spider-Man show that's like you can watch now on like Disney Plus, the same time the X-Men cartoon was out. Those figures were also very good.
Dude, those the comic books at that time too. The X-Men comic books were just wildly popular.
Yes.
What gets me is my old Transformers. I wish I had all my old Transformers, dude.
So here's the thing. I got some of the Transformers. And then I guess I was like a dumb kid. Being that kid who like couldn't fully transform it or figure out how to transform it.
Same.
And my mom being like, no, I'm not the one. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Transformers became those toys where it was like, we're not getting you these anymore. And then the Dinobots came out and I was like, I want these. And they're like, no. They're like, we'll get you anything else. No. Also, the Star Wars toys that came out in like the resurgence of the Star Wars toys when the prequels first came out, or when they put out the original trilogy, but with like the extra half hour added into them. Those Star Wars toys were top tier as well as G.I. Joe. Big G.I. Joe guy. The small ones, not the big ones. The ones that were like held together by literally like a black rubber band in the middle, which is crazy to think about nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Love them. Wrestling toys. Always loved the WWF figures. I hated how the ECW toys were too little. Then the WCW toys were too big. And I never liked the rubber ones. I had some of the rubber ones, but I never liked the rubber ones. Like the ones that didn't like move or anything like that. I definitely had the Hillbilly Jim and the Hulk Hogan and the Andre that were just like
there in poses.
Yeah, they just existed. Like you can smash them together how many times, and then it's like, ugh.
So this is kind of the time to ask this then. Do you have any item nearby that you're most proud of and you'd like to do a show and tell on? And we have time. Like if you have a 30 seconds, you need to grab something, it's fine. I just love show and tell, and if you have something.
The Ribera jacket is a sick one. Shouts to the Ribera jacket. This is right next to the bed, so I'm just gonna grab this real quick. While we were in Japan at Totocon, I definitely got Jushin Thunder teddy bear.
Oh, that's cool.
I love it. I'm a huge fan of it. She has stuff set up, so I'm not going to touch any of it, but we definitely have all the Disney popcorn buckets and everything. Oh, hold on. There's one.
Oh, you're a popcorn bucket person too.
Yes, and the sippers.
Sweet.
So
we're all Disney people. We're all Disney people.
What about the Minion cup that makes a noise?
What am I, a peasant? I don't like Minions. Get out of here, you psychopath. Dude, fuck Minions. Fuck Despicable Me. Fuck that.
Damn.
Wow.
Dude, take that fucking Universal culture and get the fuck out of here.
Man. Wow.
I don't dislike Universal. I just dislike Minions. I do not fuck with Minions.
Okay, get a timestamp here, B. We have to take this out of the recording.
I misspoke. I didn't even mean that. I meant it's the Scream can from Monsters University. I don't know why I went in Despicable Me there. It's yellow, so I went with the Minions.
Yeah. Really quick, the thing that this is like some Disney adult shit right here. The thing that drives me the craziest is when people wear Minion stuff or Minions costumes to the Disney parks. I just want to, I straight up want to be like, you need to leave because of me. Real quick, when I went to Japan, one of the things I was like, I have to get this was Hamtaro dressed as Godzilla. I was like, I have to get it first day. Not at first day. I was like, I have to get this. But yeah. We have a ton of stuff. If I move any more of it, I may be sleeping on the couch tonight, so I'm not going to do that.
You're good, man. Time to get you in trouble. When you were a kid, who was your celebrity crush?
Probably Jessica Rabbit. That was like the first one where I was like, oh. But you're like a little kid, you don't get it. But like watching the movie, you see all these guys being like, and you're like, yeah, I think I should be into that. Okay, yeah. So that was definitely the first one.
Now let's take Magic the Gathering out of it. What's your favorite board or card game outside of that?
Okay, so maybe I'll be called vanilla for this. I love classic board games, big on any themed Monopoly. Love Monopoly. But Uno, I will go play Uno all night. We were just in Atlanta. We stay with Nathan Mowry when we go out there. Shout out to Nathan Mowry and his lovely fiance, Michaela. And fucking Hardcore Hillbilly is schooling us in Uno. And I'm like, this is like this motherfucker definitely rigged this shit, but he is beating the brakes off of us in Uno. Trading card game. I never, other than Magic. When I was younger, I liked Yu-Gi-Oh a lot. I definitely collected the Pokemon cards. Never played it though. So Magic's like the first trading card game where I like really dove in.
Yeah. I blame my parents. I started with those like empty books, and then you had to buy the sticker packs.
Yep.
And ever since then, I've been into like collecting cards and stuff, just because I
Dude,
like the
it's
idea
great.
of
It's addictive.
it's you open it up and it's a mystery, and then every now and then something amazing comes out of it, and you're like, okay, it was worth it.
Dude, we get the blind box pins, and shit. It's funny. She'll tell me we're done. We're not getting any more of these. And then like an hour later, she's like, maybe we should get like 3 more. Maybe
Yeah, just to try it. Just to try and see if we can get that one pin. That's
I won't play names, but we might have a friend or two that works at Disney, and from time to time have really good discounts.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Hey, you can use my 40% discount." And that one that's in the other room, she definitely hops on that shit. So
yeah, no, I get it.
All right, going back to Uno real fast. Clown asks the important questions for Uno. Do you have your own house rules for Uno, or do you play by the book?
I think for the most part we play by the book, other than I'm a big fan of stacking. So like if you hit me with the draw 2, I can also hit a draw 2, and then the next person has to draw 4. And you can keep it going as long as you have it. I'm big on that. I think that adds more like pressure to the game. So that's my Uno like a house rule, I guess you'd say.
Do you like jigsaw puzzles? And what size?
Me and Kenzie definitely do puzzles from time to time. We usually try to go 500 piece or bigger. We definitely tried to do a Godzilla one, and it was like there was nights where I was like, I just want to throw this fucking thing in the fucking field. Like, fuck this thing. Drove me fucking crazy. The Disney ones are great. Shout out to the Disney ones. In time, I almost thought about putting out redacted puzzles, like a live action shot puzzle, and putting that out. But I don't know how if wrestling fans will buy puzzles, like 100-piece puzzle. Let me know. I will consider putting something out if wrestling fans will buy it.
I have an idea for something.
Though, for sure.
Dude, I've got such a great idea for heels to make money.
I've been told that we are going to start a King Arthur puzzle set soon. She came in to literally tell me to tell you guys about this.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, we're giving you a bunch of extra work with her.
She's really big into like nights and stuff, but I told her that she has to finish her books first. Yeah, it's like we're giving each other homework, and then when we go back to Barnes and Noble, we can go. She's huge into Barnes and Noble. That I told her we could go back and get a certain puzzle. So I think we're gonna do a King Arthur puzzle next.
Well, between the coffee and whatnot, bookstores just smell good.
It's a very aesthetically like relaxing place.
It's a vibe.
Yeah. I definitely looked through all the graphic novels. I've definitely gone there and just read whole like comics while she looks for stuff. I definitely read all of Godzilla versus the Power Rangers there, and I was like, oh, this was productive.
Wow.
I'm convinced that they started hiding books or moving books on me, because I would go there and I started reading the Ninja Turtles Last Ronin book, and then I went back, read like another chunk of it, and then the third time it was like there was like 8 copies here the other day, and I know they didn't fucking sell all these. So I was convinced they were like, this guy's going to come in here and just read all of our fucking
You know, let me see here what another good question I have for you is. What's your favorite movie genre?
I don't think I predominantly have a favorite movie genre, but if you were to go through the genres, I would have favorite movies from each one. For the record, so going back to my entrance song, people think because it has a, it's either House of a Thousand Corpses or Devil's Rejects quote, that I'm like this horror movie guy. I'm not a horror movie guy. I don't dislike horror movies, but it's not my go-to. So I'm just putting that out there because people will come up to me and like try to like really shoot the shit with me about horror movies. And I don't ever want to be like the guy who's like, yeah, sure. But I definitely like, I feel like I let people down when I'm like, yeah, I don't really like horror movies, but oops.
I pretty much watch the classics. I think the classics are the good ones. You know what I mean? Like they're not as scary. They're a lot more enjoyable.
It's funny enough. I think the one I enjoy the most is Cabin in the Woods, the newer one with that crazy plot twist ending, where it like starts off and it's kind of just like the stereotypical like Evil Dead-esque like horror movie, and then at the end. I don't know if this counts as spoilers because the movie is like,
Nah, you're good, man.
20 years old at this point. And then it's just this like underground company who's like trying to scare the world, and they have all these scary things everywhere. And there's so many funny people in it. And then just randomly Sigourney Weaver, and you're like, what? And the guy who plays Thor is in it for a minute too, and then he dies. But just such a bonkers fucking movie.
Now let's just say you have a day off. No work, no wrestling, no travel. Both of you just wake up in the morning. What are some of the simple things that make your day better?
We definitely watch a lot of YouTube shows together. We watch magic shows. We definitely watch like weird old theme park documentaries, not so much Disney. It can be anything. I'm trying to think of other things we do. We'll go and play our magic nights. We definitely have a few local game stores we go to play at. Shout out to those stores. Good local community out here. Shout out to Illinois for having a good community, gaming community. What's another thing that we like to do? We'll go to the gym together. We are soon. Oh, hold on. I gotta plug my phone in. Soon we are going to start Avatar: The Last Airbender, the show. I had never really watched it, but they're coming out with a magic set for it. So I am going to watch it to see if I like it enough to want to get the magic cards. And I'm going to replay Final Fantasy VII soon. Because now with the magic set for Final Fantasies.
Wow.
True story. Okay, so John, this and B, you guys might both get this. So the first time I ever played Final Fantasy VII was when it was 4 discs, and I played it on the computer, and I never got to finish it because my 4th disc never worked.
Oh.
So I'm going to go back and try to finish it and play it. Final Fantasy VII is the best Final Fantasy. I'm saying it now. So deal with it.
What are you binging on YouTube right now? Anything good?
We're still riding the magic high. We are definitely still watching like a ton of magic stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
Big Defunct Land people. If anyone ever watches Defunct Land, the last few episodes haven't been great, but classic. Love a good older Defunct Land episodes. Kind of all over the place, honestly. I'm really big on like movie breakdown reviews and all that shit. The Andor 2 trailer or the Andor season 2 trailer just came out. I am above and beyond excited. I love Star Wars. She doesn't like Star Wars, but I do. I cannot wait for the show. I definitely watched a 20-minute trailer on like a 20-minute breakdown video of a 2-minute trailer, and I'm in. I'm ready. Same thing with Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm ready. Let's fucking go.
What about you, B? You watching anything on YouTube regularly? Anything?
I ain't got time for nothing now. I'm back up on wrestling for months. Like literally, I'm just keeping up with GCW's been real.
Action Bronson.
Watch wrestling and try to make time for it. I hate to be that guy, but I definitely recently went through a phase of watching all of the like all the ECW hardcore TVs.
Yeah.
Man, this is time consuming. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. And then you guys say, like, for us, like we gotta try to say with the current stuff, we're like, oh my god, yeah, I'd love to go back and watch a lot of those old stuff though.
Yeah, with both me and B, half the time it's okay, watch what's going on live on the weekend, and then throughout the week it's like catching old shows just so we can kind of be historians on the stuff, you know. And you can get worn down sometimes.
Yes.
You know
this weekend's gonna be fun, yeah, because I gotta catch those live shows Friday and Saturday night since won't be able to watch it Sunday night now. But it'll be good. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
So
one match I want to put out there for everyone.
Baldur's Gate. I guess you're starting that.
Yeah. My son was just playing that with his friend. They beat him. It took 56 hours. So you got a couple days ahead of you.
Okay. One match I want to put out there for everybody to watch. It's Vampiro versus Terry Funk from Nitro. I forget the year. It won't be hard to find. It's definitely on YouTube. It's the craziest match I've ever seen in my entire life. It makes no sense. It's absolutely bonkers. There's another Terry Funk WCW match I want everyone to watch. I think it's from Thunder. It's Terry Funk versus Harlem Heat, which was Stevie Ray and Ahmed Johnson. And I forget the fucking third guy. And at one point, Terry Funk has 2 raw chickens on his fists. That's all I'm going to say. Watch both these matches. Thank me later. If you want to post about it on Twitter that you watched them because of me, I will repost it because both these matches are absolutely insane. I reviewed one on like with the Bocce Boys once, and they were just like blown away about how like ridiculous the Vampiro match was. It was nuts.
Yeah, well, I'm putting that in right now.
Please.
Would you rather have a personal trainer or a personal chef? I usually ask guys who aren't with someone about a question like that because they normally don't have a second person in their home to help out. But
no, she's a great cook, but I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure we'd both love a personal chef in the sense that like we don't have to fucking cook and they can do the work. That'd be great. Sure.
Worst shoot job you've ever had?
Ooh, there's levels here, brother. Not that it was the worst job, but funny enough, I did used to work in a hospital, so there's that. Man, I don't know. I've worked some fucking dog shit jobs. I don't think it was the worst job, but I definitely delivered car parts for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting how like I'd use my own car and like I would definitely put car batteries in the back seat and then be like, why are there holes in my back seat? And it's like from like the corroded acid or whatever, and or like just having like oil stains and like ripped up back car seats because of this fucking stupid job. I think my first job ever was Quiznos, which funny enough, this is the second time we're talking about Quiznos on this podcast. Fuck Quiznos. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, from what I recall. But yeah, see, there you go. Fuck Quiznos. Yeah.
I was about to say someone said that earlier.
I'm sorry, Quiznos.
Dude,
there goes our
okay,
sponsorship.
We were driving through fucking Wisconsin the other day, and Wisconsin's like the next state over. It's not far. And I saw an advertisement for Blimpie. I'm like, Blimpie's still a fucking thing?
I never heard of Blimpie in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, right? So I was,
wow.
Blimpie. One sandwich chain I really like. This is super random. Witch. I don't know if you guys ever fucked with this.
I've never
it's
heard
bomb
of it.
as hell.
No.
It's great.
No. Is it Midwest also?
I've discovered it in Houston. Yeah, it is in the Midwest, but I discovered it in Houston at their airport.
Yeah, I feel out of touch. I feel out of touch with the Midwest. You said Culver's, though. I loved Culver's, too.
Dude, Culver's is the best. It is the absolute best. It's tough to decide, do I like Culver's or Portillo's more sometimes? And it is definitely a slippery slope of which one do I like more. It's tough. It's tough. It's a thin line.
Well, one of my favorite questions that we were going to nix, but...
Yes.
You know, do you have any ghost stories or spooky stories that you could share over your life?
All right. So I did it up until earlier today, and I'm still convinced that John hired somebody to do this. And I don't... Once we'll get to it. So earlier today, we have this wacko doorbell that only like some of the doorbell works. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. So we don't get too many people that ring the fucking doorbell. This is 2025. Who rings the fucking doorbell anymore? So I go out there and I'm like, hey, are you expecting anybody? And she's like, no. And I'm like, well, there's like a small heavy set man at the door. And she's like, no, go find out. And so this is maybe 30 seconds, 40, 45 seconds tops. I go out there. There's no one fucking there. No, dude, there's in either direction of the street, no car, no one running, just no one, nothing. Like they didn't leave a package. I was convinced it was like, this is John. He did this shit. He hired someone. Maybe this guy is like crazy and he was on the roof. He like maybe jumped up there somehow.
Yeah.
Just nothing. I sat there scratching my head, just looking. I even did the hello. Nothing.
He grabbed the trash can. He was ready.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Just had one next to the fucking.
So that was like that was the first statement of the night. So someone pictures you just walk around with the trash can for. Here we go. Hold on.
Sleepwalking with a trash can in my hand.
It was like one of the first things I saved earlier. There we go. Why do I have a feeling Dr. Redacted carry around a trash can in case, violence?
Yeah, I'm just casually walking around the house with a trash can. Why not?
Wow.
I did recently find out, speaking of cans, that Baja Blast Zero, because I only do the zero sugars, is significantly better out of a can than it is from Taco Bell. Significantly better.
Whoa,
That's rare.
I was
Usually
about to say, yeah, what?
Usually the draft, I called it a draft, but
Draft.
usually like is usually the fresher, kind of better tasting. Huh.
Try it. I'm telling you.
Interesting.
Weird.
Is that the one in the black can, right?
No, it's in like a regular, like, I guess, like teal, like Baja Blast color can. Yeah.
Huh. In your travels, have you fallen in love with any area of the country or the world that you'd consider moving to?
Ooh. It's tough. There's a lot of places I really like. We really liked going to Portland for a while. Portland was really nice. The food there is really good. The like magic scene or like the game stores were fantastic. I don't know if we've moved there though. I feel like every time we've gone to Colorado, I'm like, man, it's really nice here. But I wouldn't want to live here. No, I don't think there's any other place I sometimes I think Florida, and that might just be the Disney adult in me. I also predominantly like hotter weather as opposed to cold weather. That's why I was like, ooh, Vegas, this is fine.
Yeah.
And then summer hits.
Yeah, 110, 115 isn't so fun anymore.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I can go inside somewhere and run away with the air conditioning. When the snow hits, it's like it fucks up all your plans.
Yeah.
But no, I can't really think of too many places that I'm like, oh, I would move there. But there's a lot of places I really do enjoy going to, and I enjoy a lot.
But you wouldn't live there. You just see yourself enjoying it and leaving when time comes.
Yeah. Florida, I'd probably move to Florida. Maybe.
I was in Portland for a while in a little place called Hillsboro, just east of Portland, and I think the rain kind of changes people there, and you could have more card players just based on the fact that they're not in the rain. You know what I mean? They're hanging together indoors trying to find something to do together and things
That's
like
fair.
that. I just feel like that's maybe why it has that warmth. The people there may be just a little more people centric.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we were there most tops for like 2 days a day. Like, so we didn't really get to like hit it too much, but I have a few friends that live up there, and like every place they took us to eat, we were like, oh my God, the food here is so fucking good. Funny enough, the only place that was bad was the promoter, John, the place he took us to. It was like their version of Denny's or Waffle House, but like way more depressing and way more sad. Funny enough, the second time we came back, the place was closed, but it just was not good.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't terrible, but it was like, you could have brought us anywhere, but you brought us here, huh? The one thing I do miss the most about the West Coast is Dutch Bros. I miss Dutch Bros so much.
That's our crack, man.
Kenzie
that is my new crack.
loves Dutch Bros. Any fans that want to have Kenzie be your friend, bring her Dutch Bros to the show. She has a specific order, but bring Dutch Bros.
Oh yeah.
I wish I could still have coffee. I miss coffee so bad.
Oh, why can't you do coffee?
Just physical. Like,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Is it a caffeine thing or is it coffee?
It's a no kidney thing.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't process any of that stuff. I've got 1/2 of one functioning kidney left. It's like
wild.
Yeah. Now everybody knows. Yeah. It was a cancer. I lost it all and all that good stuff. So like sodas, carbonated anything, teas, coffees, I can't touch. And when I smell like a good coffee or tea, I'm like, oh man. But no alcohol, nothing like that. Can't have it.
Living is much cooler, so we like that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I got maybe another 10 years or so. I'll have to start looking for like a donor and stuff. But I've been pretty good, I think, and hopefully I work out. It works out.
Oh, more respect to you for conquering that shit and going through those hard times. That shit sucks. And anybody that's go out to that fucking sucks. And I'm sorry about that.
No.
Everyone who stays strong, we appreciate you.
Thank you, man. April will be 10 years. So I almost went stage 4. They had to rush me into surgery to get everything removed, and I'm cool. So yeah, I was at 345. I'd actually ballooned up because the kidneys weren't filtering anything out, and yeah, so now I'm sitting at like 265, 270. So if I hit 250, that's a nice round number. If I hit 245, I've lost 100 pounds.
Dude, yeah, let's go. 245. We're around the block. We're coming for it.
One day, actually, yeah, I'm right. I was losing about a little under 2 pounds every month, so I had a nice little pace going on. But I plateaued like 3 years ago. So
food is
like
good.
I said, I'm trying to get it right. But Yeah, man, there are ways of doing it the right way, and I just getting rid of a lot of stuff really was helpful. But I tell anybody trying to lose weight, dude, don't cut out anything. Just reduce it to where you're comfortable, because reducing to where you're comfortable is a lot more manageable and less stressing than just saying, "Oh, I can't have this." Because when you really want it, not having it makes no sense, because you're an adult and you can have whatever the hell you want. So
Plus,
reducing
there's so many
salt's better than no
alternatives
salt.
to everything. It's like there's so many
Yes.
sugar-free drinks, or just because once you reduce the sugar and like that kind of shit, it helps so much more. But there are so many good options and alternatives to everything. And I feel like so many people are like, "Oh, but that's vegan," or "Oh, that's sugar-free," or "That's diet." Just give it a shot. Just try it. It might be better. I prefer the zero sugar stuff over the regular sodas from here on out.
Yeah, this week I'm back on 12 to 14 hour intermittent fasting, protein shakes, like back to it. So.
What's your protein shake of choice?
Oh gosh, what's the name of it? It's it's I get it from Costco.
Premier.
Premier, I think it's Premier Protein. Let me double check real quick.
Their,
I mean,
their
it's not a
cafe
big.
latte one is really good.
It's like it's like drinking a milkshake.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
So I think that's, or Shamrock Farms, I think it's called. That's the one I'm thinking it's
I
called.
don't think I know that one though. That's
It
interesting.
tastes just like a chocolate shake, and you know how they all say that shit. This one,
Yep.
I can't tell it's a protein shake. So of course it's really famous. Like everyone loves it because it's thick like a milkshake.
For protein bars, do you fuck with Barbell?
No, I haven't messed with any protein bars or anything yet. I'm allergic to some of this. Dude, I'm a mess.
Hey,
I
it's
can't
okay,
eat
it's
or
okay.
drink anything. I'm the fattest guy that can't eat shit that you've ever seen in your life.
Well,
It's
look up the
amazing.
ingredients, but there's one called Barbell. Some of them
Okay.
taste just like if you were eating like a Twix or a Snickers, but
Oh,
like
sweet.
not awful for you.
Interesting. Okay.
So I did want to mention one thing. In Phoenix, there's a place you guys should check out called Gamers Guild. It's like a big gaming place that has like the
Yes.
magic cards and stuff. Like I've been there when I go to Phoenix for the shows. Like I've been there with family and stuff, and it's like a big place. You can sit down and chill, do a little quick magic game. But it's like really cool place, and they have like the puzzles and stuff. I think you guys would enjoy that place a lot.
We have a late flight up the next day, so please message me that and remind me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's for gamers. I know exactly where he's talking about. This would be a place where you'd be like, all right, we're coming back to Phoenix. Maybe we should hit over there for an hour.
Yeah.
It's one of those
Sounds
places.
good to me.
Okay, I only got a couple of questions left because we are way in overtime, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, thank you for
Thank
being
you, man.
here
Hey,
this long.
I'm having a good time. We're talking, we're shooting the shit. Let's
Dude,
go.
we have a lot to talk about after. That's so funny. So one thing you want to do before you die, what haven't you done yet?
Man, that's
a
a
big
great question. Man, I don't know. That's a really good question. So funny enough, I always tell her, like, if I can't do the wrestling thing anymore, the job I want to do the most is gator wrangling. That probably sounds
Really
fucking crazy, but I'm a big animal guy. I love going, like, seeing animals, experiencing animals, zoos, the good ones, not the bad ones. Big zoo guy. But like the gator wrangling thing, I'm like, that could be exciting. Let's go. Let's try it.
You ever thought about going to Florida and trying it?
I have. I've really thought about it. I looked at it starts off pretty good. It's like $60,000 to start off. And I was like, oh, that's not bad. At just Gatorland alone. I don't know. That's a loaded question. There's a lot of things I feel like I want to do before, but what else you got?
Just give the Gators some names, some to videotape those and turn them into wrestling matches.
Yeah, exactly. I'll find a working gator.
Exactly.
We'll do like Steve-O and tie a chicken to his underwear and make him run around the.
There's that old footage of Tracy Smothers wrestling the bear. I'll be the guy who fucking wrestles the alligator.
What would your next language of choice be, if you'd like to learn one?
Funny enough, spent the month in Japan. I learned 0 Japanese.
Yeah.
I am really bad at learning other languages, but I guess Japanese would be a cool one to learn. There are so many languages that would be cool, I guess, to learn, but I guess Japanese, sure.
Japanese is moderately difficult, but the fun part about learning Japanese is a lot of people are encouraged to read comic books to learn Japanese.
Really?
Yes. Oh, yes, because not only are you enjoying yourself, but you're able to sit there and learn at the same time. And a lot of nerds, that's how I was told that they love to learn their Japanese, is they'll sit there with just a moderate amount of, and they roll through them and figure it out as they go. And Yeah, it's just a lot more fun with your favorite character. You know what I mean? It's like we're
Interesting.
kids. You know, like
Okay.
we're kids. Would you like to learn Spanish this way, or would you like to have Bugs Bunny teach you Spanish? You know what I mean?
Do you
Same thing.
remember that old thing they used to advertise on TV all the time for learning another
Yes.
language? Muzzy.
Yeah, with all the cartoon. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Muzzy. You can learn French, Italian. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And like,
Wow.
issue last to be or whatever.
Dude, you just unearthed shit in my head that I didn't even know
Dude,
were
I
buried in
remember
there.
just unlocked it. I can remember seeing that fucking green stupid monster on TV. Jesus Christ. All right.
um, if you could master a craft or skill, what would it be?
Ooh. Um, I always thought for some reason I would love to learn how to play the piano. I know that sounds so
Yeah,
weird. I also wouldn't mind getting better at cooking, but the piano I feel like is such a like watching or listening to somebody play like live piano, like especially at like an airport or even at like Disney or something like that. It's just very relaxing and soothing. I feel like playing it is probably the same way, but like more elevated.
it's magical. You're a part of it. And if you're good with numbers, dude, music is just math nerd shit. Really, it's just math nerd shit. I've done music. Come on. It's like 16th notes, 8th notes, half
I never
rest.
played a
Like,
goddamn instrument though. I'll tell you that much. So,
really?
yeah.
Really? Were you producing? Or you
Uh,
said you were doing the, like, you were doing booking and whatnot, right?
yes. We'll talk more about it off air though. There's
Okay.
a
Okay.
whole there's a lot to unpack there.
Sweet. Um, I was going to ask you about Knocked Loose and what you thought about him anyway. We can.
I do not like Knocked Loose. I definitely am too old for a knock to be a Knocked Loose fan.
Really?
Um,
I really do. They're one of the few bands I've connected with in the last 5 years.
and
Just
that's
because I'm
cool.
old.
And
Yeah.
that's one thing I do appreciate is that like I feel like there are genres of people like people who like certain types of music, but Knocked Loose definitely has their own genre of fans.
Yeah.
And I think that's so fascinating because I remember when they first started touring and started playing, um, you'd see people there that were there for the overall the show. Like they were there for the entire concert. I hate saying concert, but if I say show, people don't know what I'm talking about. But people that were there for that whole thing. But then there would be people that were there just for Knocked Loose. And that
Yeah.
like that kept going and kept going and kept going. And now I feel like Turnstile is still also kind of in that vein of like having their own like genre of fans.
Yeah. Well, like Code Orange, they kind of also have their own little niche, almost, you'd have to say.
So what's funny about that is I won't drop any specific names, but I used to be friends with people that would handle like booking and stuff for. I shouldn't say used to, but like I would talk to them more frequently about this. And when Knocked Loose and Code Orange were like on the up and up, they were both like kind of neck and neck for like. I think Knocked Loose was just getting a little bit more popularity wise,
Yep. Yep.
and they were like the two bands of like that time. And Code Orange turned down doing that tour with them because they thought
Mm-hmm.
that Knocked Loose was going to like outdo them, and they didn't want to like associate with that, which I thought was funny. If you go back and listen to old Code Orange when they were Code Orange Kids,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a totally different band. It's like a
Really?
screamo band. And then you listen to like when they discovered what a breakdown is and like heavy music, and then you just
Uh-huh.
did Code Orange, and you're like, it's night and day. But they used to be
Huh.
like like an alternative like screamo band as Code Orange Kids, and then it's like in theory it's like they grew up and just dropped the kids and started playing really heavy shit.
Dude, I love it. I felt so uncool since like the age of about, I don't know, 32 to 35 when it comes to any new music that there's only
Yeah,
so many bands I can give you in the last 5 to 10 years that have actually knocked my socks off. And I go, okay, this is the next generation of metal. Metal is good. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
for sure.
we do it with wrestlers too. We're like, oh boy, I really
Mhm.
hope we can find the next this guy or that guy. And then you see someone like yourself in Deathmatch or others that come along in other, genres of wrestling, and you go, damn man, just the generation's gonna be just fine.
Yeah,
So,
like I said, it's not my thing. I get why a lot of people like it, and that's their thing, and that's cool. I'm definitely at that like old man stage of thinking of like I like the demo better, or I
yeah,
like these
yeah.
bands that I grew up listening to, and I hate that mentality. But like, just a lot of the newer bands just don't really appeal, and that's fine. And like I said, I'm not gonna shit on other people for liking certain things or whatever, but
Right, right.
it's just not my cup of tea.
Any well, we got two more. Let's do this
Okay,
one. What
sure,
would
sure.
the young you think is the coolest thing about the older you?
Um, Probably like everything, to be honest. Like I feel like I'm doing all the things that like young me would think was like cool. When I was like a
Nice.
kid, like single digits, my dream job was I want to be the ice cream man because who a kid didn't fucking like ice cream, and I was like I'm gonna eat all the ice cream. Um, but like from like there on out, it's like I'm kind of doing everything I wanted to do, and like when I was in like junior high, high school, like that era, you couldn't be into nerd shit. It was like frowned upon.
Yes, I remember that.
You would be ridiculed for it, and I kind of had to do it in hiding. But now it's like if you don't watch an anime, you're kind of an idiot. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's things that like people like the doors are open now, and like nothing's
Yeah.
really frowned upon. And I feel like I'm doing everything that I wish I could have done then. So that's pretty cool.
That's
I
that's
enjoy like
damn cool.
yeah, like I just like, I'm getting really tongue tied. Sorry. As we were talking about this, I was just kind of realizing that, and it's like, damn, little me, shout out. You'd be into this shit.
That's why it's one of my favorite questions. Actually, that's one of my favorites is because it's reflective, and sometimes people look back and go, oh shit, I've hit a couple markers maybe I haven't given enough attention to. So, yeah, I love that one a lot. My last one I think I'll just ask is, are there any fellow wrestlers you'd like to shout out right now?
Oh, there's a bunch. Shout out Tommy Trainwreck. I do a lot of he's a Midwest guy with me. He's right in Wisconsin. We do a ton of road trips together. I love that guy. He's a really good wrestler too. Shout out Dmitry Alexandrov. He's a big Houston guy. He is Houston wrestling right now. He's pretty much Texas wrestling, if we're gonna be honest. Like Brian Keith went away and got signed to AW, and now Dmitry is just like Texas wrestling, in my opinion, especially deathmatch. Shout out Nathan Mowry. He's my southern brother with Hardcore Hillbilly. We always stay with them whenever we're in the South. We always travel with them. They're great. Eric Dillinger, another wrestler nobody should be sleeping on. The guy is fucking fantastic. He's crisp as shit. Really nice, good human being too. I feel like if I forget anybody, I'm going to be such a jerk. I'm gonna end up forgetting people, but there's a ton of people.
You're not forgetting anyone. It's like 2 a.m. and you're doing pretty damn good. You know.
Yeah,
We'll look
but
at it that way.
it's okay. There's a lot of really good people out there. All my friends who like, Long Island. Shout out Gabriel Sky. He's really good. People should watch him. He's really, really good. The Northeast in general just has so many good wrestlers. It's sick. Honestly, there's so many good wrestlers everywhere, but everybody should just be willing to give all of these people that they aren't aware, like or aren't. Oh yeah, I'm getting text right now. My friend Perry Von Vicious, New England, would love to shout him out. If you like monster trucks or Sid Vicious, he is the guy for you. Watch him. There's just so many. I would love to shout them all out. I really hate that I can't remember. We could probably be here for a while if I just went down the list anyway. But you guys got some names. There you go. Unpack them, enjoy them, look them up. IWTV, Triller, all of them.
You know, the independent wrestling scene is sometimes divided with fans and whatnot, and sometimes it's even divided at the ownership level, and that's just the way things are. I want to tell you that we try to do, I think, the same thing you're trying to do, which is just be Switzerland. Just
Yep.
go to work. You know, just go to work, enjoy this person's time, enjoy that person's time. If someone has an issue with this person, guess what? It has nothing to do with me. And I also don't carry anyone else's weight. So I want to give you kudos that you're always also able to go out there and you're universal across the independent board with fans, with everyone. And I feel that's how business should be ran more in a perfect world, you know?
Yeah, tribalism is a pretty awful thing in wrestling, and it's unfortunate, but
Fans miss out.
yep.
I think
And
fans miss out in the long run.
it's crazy to me how, like, if a wrestler is in a certain place, they can be all in on them, and then if they go somewhere else, they're like, "Fuck this guy." I don't understand it at all. I understand
Okay.
if the person does bad things or whatever, cool, fuck them then. But if just because they're working somewhere else, who cares? You could honestly, you don't even have to like that company. If you like that wrestler, go watch their match from that company and then turn it off. Who cares?
Maybe this is a deeper conversation for another day, but I've seen in independent wrestling that outside of a handful of people, really it's about the brand of the company more than it is the brand of the wrestler. And I've seen some wrestlers knock it out at GCW, and then when they go to the other companies, they're like, it's some of these smaller ones, they're not able to draw as well and whatnot. And then, yeah, I look at it and I go, damn, you know, the GCW name is what does carry some of these performers, and seeing them outside that. But you're one of them and several others where it doesn't matter where you're at. The name is like, okay, that's an instant badass match. Like, I know at least this part of the card is going to be good. And, you know, and you're one of those, hey, we just know that this part of the card's going to be good. I said this about Speedball Mike Bailey. I've said this about other quality individuals that just make the most of their time. So I also want to give you kudos for doing that, because you're one of a handful of wrestlers that I think are capable, that when your name is on the card, doesn't even matter who you're against. Whoever you're against is bonus. It's just the fact that you're there matters.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Because like I said, doesn't, like, we live in a day and age where streaming, filming, like, people can see these clips everywhere. Like, it's not like the tape trading days, or like even then before that, where like filming was such a hard thing to do. But nowadays, like, there could be 3, 4, 5 shows streaming on one fucking day on 100 different platforms. Make the most of every minute you get. That's how I look at it.
I'm not going to argue you one bit there. I mean, when we did the podcast thing with wrestling, like, I had to just go down to GCW. I can't watch as much anymore. I deep dive sometimes. Like I was telling, I think I was telling DeMonto 2 weeks ago, I've been deep diving IWA Deep South. We want to talk about some interesting stuff. The grittiness, I've been digging it lately. And
that's how I sometimes feel about IWA Mid South. There are just so many matches on there.
Yes.
Like, dude, Loki versus Necro Butcher, top 5, one of my favorite matches of all time. Insane match, absolutely bonkers, insane. Watch it on YouTube, find it. It's just everything you want in pro wrestling, or at least
Speaking of the tribalism thing, that's some of these wrestlers we're just missing out on. We're missing some great matchups that I hope that, and any opportunistic promoter could take advantage of that and have those matchups happen over there. So, I mean, whoever gets to the apple the quickest.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. It's just, is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because we have kept the good doctor 2.5 hours.
Yeah, right. We're doing good though. This has been fun.
If I didn't feel rude, we could continue, but I know.
If you got a few more questions,
we're doing
we can do a few more questions.
Do you see any other questions, or is there anything else you wanted to ask me before?
Yeah, there's a couple, I guess. Connor here. Who do you think is the best and worst singer of Black Flag?
Oh, that's a loaded one too. Essentially, I feel like I'm always going to want to enjoy Henry Rollins more, but I know the real fans will always want the first singer, whose name is eluding me right now. Also, Connor's great, by the way. Shout out Connor.
Connor's got some good questions as of late. Yeah, shout out Connor for sure with the great questions.
We're fortunate to have good people in our chat, and he's definitely one of them that he's just adding to it with all the others. Notice we don't have any problems in chat. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
I mean, what, 600-700 probably sitting in here live?
Yeah, and then you got Frank. It's like,
I gotta shout out Rose there. Rose could know Rose tonight. Kept the peace.
Oh, poor Rose. He's one of our favorite chuds.
Yeah, I love when he comes in and ruffles everyone's feathers. He gets the chat going.
He gives us a little bit of that deathmatch elite style love. You know what I mean? The chud love.
The chuds. Shout out to the chud.
And one last question.
Chuds, by the way.
Yes, definitely shout out Chudge. Cody Hewitt has been asking kind of all show. Do you think you'll be going to Fargo for Time Bomb Pro?
Me and Eric are really good friends. I did have to cancel on him last time, and I felt really bad about that. Everyone in this household was very under the weather, unfortunately. I want to go back. Fargo's great. North Dakota. If anyone hasn't watched Time Bomb Pro, I highly suggest it. Great promotion. They definitely have their own crop of talent there that I feel like not a lot of people get to see, but it's a really fun, good promotion to watch. Whenever I'll be back at some point, hopefully.
Not going too far into it. Did you notice when you were in Vegas, it almost feels like we're on an island on the West Coast out here?
Yes, completely. Yeah. It's weird because it feels like everywhere else has their scene and their thing, and then there's just Vegas.
Yeah, it just doesn't have an identity.
To be fair, I never heard anything about Utah, so I don't know if Utah has a scene at all.
I'll tell you what, Phoenix is fucking scene. Those fans are actually like rabid. The GCW fans at
I'm
the
ready.
Nile.
I'm ready.
I'm excited. Yeah, that's I had to make a decision yesterday if I wanted to go to LA or Nile, and yeah, Niles. I haven't been there since the first show, and I got to go back.
Next,
Real quick though, to put some plugs in, this weekend, if you want to come see me Saturday, I'm in Chicago at Berwyn Eagles Club, the legendary Berwyn Eagles Club, for We Love Wrestling, where it will be the Death Wish Cup. It's a sick as deathmatch tournament. First round, I got Dysfunction, and I'm going to absolutely murder him, and maybe his child as well. And then the next day, after I win that fucking tournament, because I'm gonna fucking go all the way to the end and win that shit. Second day, you can see me in Phoenix, Arizona, taking on Cyclope at GCW. That's my weekend plans.
yeah.
That was another matchup. I was like, yeah, that's a key matchup that's gonna steal the show. Now it's gonna be fun. Now Arizona's always been fun, and the crowd, as John was saying, has always been tearing it up, and the shows have been great up there as well.
I've never been able to wrestle in Arizona, so I'm really excited. When I was living in Vegas, I received a booking for Arizona, and then I was like, "Hey, man, I'm like moving in like a week. I can't make your show. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And I never got to get my Arizona debut, and so I'm happy to check that off the list. I really enjoy. This is a weird one, but I know John's into weird shit, so maybe he'll agree with me. Not to knock John. I love going to new airports. I love. I've been to the Arizona one. It's not that great. But I love getting new states and new airport, like wrestling in a new state, checking that off. And I love going to airports I've never been to, exploring and checking that off the list.
So
what state? Magnets or anything?
Go, John.
Sorry. Oh, do you do magnets or anything like that? Like, do you grab a magnet or anything of an area?
No, I don't. I definitely will try to get at least one meal or I try to get like the ins and outs of the airport. Like, for example, the one in Minnesota, the fact that they have a Prince store is fucking crazy. A Hill store just to Prince the singer. But LAX and Newark, I think, are my top two. I hate them the most. I fucking hate those airports.
What's the nicest one you've been in America?
Ooh, that's so tough. I feel like sometimes the two New York ones can go between which one's really nice. The one Houston airport has really good food selection. Oh man, this is such a tough question. Atlanta, I hated that airport for the longest time. Me and Poo Poo, the merch guy for GCW, every time I go there, I text him about his favorite airport. I hated it. And then Terminal C, I found that there is this incredible food spot. And I'm like, I look forward to it now because I'm always like, we're going to go and get food there, right? Yeah. And she always amuses me. And then we go and get food there. But the Phoenix one is very just, this is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, once you get to the GCW stadium and you get around the GCW universe, as a GCW star, you're going to be really happy with, hey, no shit though, you're going to be really happy with the Phoenix fans. Some of the loudest pound for pound. And I mean, I went from LA one night to Phoenix the next night, and I would tell you that Phoenix, it's not the acoustics. The people really are that thankful, and I don't have another way to put it, but they impressed us like crazy. Me and B, like, we're sitting there going, is this really only, what was there, 600, 700? I can't remember how much it was, but it was well under LA, and it was just as loud. And I'm looking around going, is this acoustics? And then I'm watching the fans just go nuts, like,
that's all
the way fans should be, dude. Like the way fans used to be, like engaged, thankful, full-throated, yelling and screaming, respectful, but also wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The good stuff.
Now, I know you guys are Vegas guys. Where do you guys like going to shows the most?
I actually, to be honest, like I only been to one show at the Nile, but that was an experience, man. Like I've been to multiple UCC shows, and those are always fun, but the Nile was something different. And for me, I like Nile. Like I like going to UCC, but the Nile's like I picked the Nile this time, and I prefer the Nile.
Fuck yeah.
I like the UCC. It has that beautiful golden glow to it. When you walk in, you can't deny that it's not there.
It's a memorable venue for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the issue with no glass and whatnot, and my goodness, that's the only thing holding that place back. Because honestly, that to me feels like the West Coast home of GCW, and if there was just one or two things that let them be themselves in the kids' room, we'd be perfect. But you, especially, and others have found creative ways to get around that glass thing by still having a hardcore match, and you don't always need glass, and you've shown us
I tell
that
people all
and
the
several
time,
others.
you don't need glass to have a good death match.
Oh my goodness, no! I mean,
That match
we're actually
with Matt Justice had blood and guts. It had crazy. It had funny. It had it all.
you didn't need more.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the way to put it. Is you just didn't need more. I mean, it really came down to the creativity of the performers, and out you went. Okay, let's stop here. Like I said, I don't want to be too rude, but we pulled almost 3 hours out of you, man.
Hell yeah. Take that, Jay DeMonto. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, boss. I'll be giving you some information after the show.
Oh my
I'll
goodness.
be not making Danny happy. But no, awesome. Thank you so much, Doctor, for coming on. And yeah, it was a blast there.
It was a pleasure, and I would gladly do it again.
That's
we will
gonna
definitely
have to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna call you.
Well,
I'm taking your bluff too on the Waffle House in Phoenix. If not, maybe I could. We gotta figure something out there.
Yeah, hell yeah. Real quick, Deathmatch Worldwide. Go buy my merch. On all the socials, Instagram and Twitter or whatever it's called today. DRX Redacted. Facebook. If you know my name, you'll find me. If not, that's also okay.
and if you don't know, now you know.
Motherfucker.
Actually, I'm
That's
putting the
right.
link in the chat if you guys want to go buy some Doctor Redacted merch.
Wow.
Right off.
Look at this guy over here.
Boom.
He's doing two things at once. We'll give him
There we
love.
go.
There you are. Yeah, by all means, go out there and get some merch. This is one of the best ways you can directly support a performer, especially one that you really love. By all means, this is one of those things that, I mean, you can't be more thankful than to go out there, get a shirt, maybe a sticker or something. By all means, please support the arts.
I stand by my merch too, so please go buy it. Please and thank you.
All right, John, we ready to send him out?
Thank you so much, Doctor. Let's send him out, man.
All right, thank you again, Doctor Redacted, and all right, long
Oh, we
live.
fucked this up.
Oh my God,
G
D C W.
Good night, guys. Love y'all.